and 2 complimentary cocktails. Visit stkatearts.com to RSVP or grab your tickets at stkatearts.com.
Get your green and gold off-season fix right here. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, hey, Marky, it might be almost to the point of Ruth?
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee at the 3rd Street Market Hall.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
This is Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tosh.
It's Wilde and Touch, isn't it?
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Monday edition. So did anything happen since we went off the air at the end of Friday's show edition? Let's see here. The Giannis called the way the Bucks treated him, quote, disrespectful edition. The Wisconsin men's hockey team lost 2-1 in the national championship to Denver, with the second goal coming when the goalie had lost his stick edition. The Packers traded Dontayvion Wicks to the Philadelphia Eagles for 2 draft picks edition. Christian Yelich suffered what appears to be a serious hamstring injury edition. The Doc Rivers and the Bucks are parting ways edition. And oh, by the way, Chris McIntosh quit as the Badgers athletic director, is taking a job with the Big Ten edition. Did I miss anything? Edition.
The Masters.
Yeah, Rory is
Rory repeated, yeah.
Scheffler.
Yeah. Congratulations to Rory edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the amazing, magnificent, stupendous, incredible ESPN Wisconsin app, which not only can you find in both the Android and Apple app stores, but you can also customize to put Wilde and Tausch right in that first spot, so we're easy to access. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, we think, and also in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. He is the Packers Hall of Famer, proud Wisconsin alum, and former teammate of Chris McIntosh. He's Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing?
That was a lot. A lot went on since we signed off on Friday at noon.
Yeah, you think if we'd won the national championship, Mac would have stayed?
That's a great question. I don't think so.
A couple days.
Did he get away with it?
Yeah, do a parade first, big, pep rally.
Gotta
then
have the
probably
pep rally. Yeah. To have the hockey both championships sitting here would be a nice feather in his cap.
I don't know, reading Jim Polzine's column this morning from the Wisconsin State Journal, they had a gathering for the women's hockey team, and apparently there were some in the audience that chose that time to boo Chris McIntosh. So I don't know if that would have affected anything. But, Tausch, we have to start here because obviously Mac and you are friends, former teammates. He's been on the show. And now he has not only did the news break yesterday, but today the Big Ten already has announced that he has a new job with them, a newly created position about strategy, which is important.
Strategery, yep.
What was your reaction when I don't know if you knew any of this was coming down the pike, but what was your reaction when this news broke yesterday, and where does this leave our alma mater?
Yeah, I did not know that this was coming down the pipe. I don't know when. I got a text, and then obviously I got a bunch of messages after the news broke. What seems like it was right after the Masters, and I don't know why or how or what the rationale on all of that was, but I was shocked, disappointed, and just a ton of questions. I have a ton of questions. I know our fans, and some are fine with it and said it's great. Some are thinking it's going to be better. I think Mac did some really good things. Obviously, the football program is not where it needs to be, and he's, I think, done a job of rectifying, at least from the financial end of it. And we've already had those discussions, when Luke joined us, and just in how better prepared this group was getting into spring ball. You got, the new complex. There's a lot of things that I think have been done really well, but this is really disappointing. And I think from a perspective of where we go from here and where Wisconsin athletics is, you have a huge void, both at the athletic director spot. The Board of Regents guy gets fired for I don't even know what. I don't know how that played out. And you have a chancellor that's leaving. And, by the way, you have the most unstable collegiate sport between men's basketball and college football. It's a complete blank show. So I don't know who said the coaches win games, organizations win championships. Well, right now you have an organization that is I'm assuming everybody is as shocked and as surprised as I am. I'm sure there's some folks, very few, that probably had some kind of inkling that this may happen. But the bottom line on it is you're going into a monster season, and now there's more change, more things that aren't stable than there ever has been before. So I am very concerned. I don't know how anybody couldn't be. And, you hope there's a lot of great people that work in that building. And there's a lot of people that are in a position to try and right the ship and to get things going. But there's going to be a completely new leadership operation from top to top to top in all of these categories. And it makes you, I can only imagine what everybody over there is thinking. I'll head over there this week. It came as a huge shock and a surprise, and I don't think for where we're at, it's going to be a monster challenge. It's already a huge challenge, and now that challenge just got double, tripled, probably triple, quadrupled. How we're going to continue to grow and get better out of this, it was a shock to me.
So a couple of things, and one, I think the best way to understand, and I'm not here to make excuses for Chris McIntosh. I am here to just be honest about this. But I do like Mac, and I'm disappointed that this has played out for him the way it has. Now, that said, I didn't realize this until I was reading Jim's column this morning. His first day on the job was also the first day of NIL.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, does that not set the tone for all that? If we're going to be fair, they were clearly not prepared sufficiently to deal with the landscape shifting the way it did. They've basically admitted that by saying we've now increased our resources and everything else, right? They have acknowledged as an athletic department that they were not on the footing they wanted to be on as that was happening. Which they're not the only athletic program that struggled with that.
Correct.
But that is do I believe that if we lived in this alternative reality where it was just like it was for Pat Richter and Barry Alvarez, things would still be clipping along? I do, actually. I mean, there's a reason why Barry had him as his hand-picked successor. But this was a different world, and it has not gone well, and we can all acknowledge that. But to your point, my question is two. One, why? What are all the behind-the-scenes explanations for why this played out the way it did in the last however many hours? And 2, where do they go from here? I don't know the answers to either one of those. I hope at least the former, come to light and we have a better understanding. Because, again, in reading Jim's column, and he is the foremost voice on Wisconsin athletics in the media at this point, basically he's suggesting that instead of sticking around and fixing what ails the athletic department, he pulled the ripcord.
Yeah, and I know Mac put out a big statement. I'm sure Jesse or you have that, and we can kind of get an idea.
Got it in my email.
Yeah, there are obviously a ton more questions than there are answers, and I don't know when and if we'll get those publicly. But the bottom line on it is you can look at it from Mac's perspective, and you understand this upcoming season is going to be huge for everybody involved. And there's no doubt, between him and Luke both, they took a lot of shrapnel last season. I mean, 2 or 3 different times Mac came out and gave a vote of confidence,
Correct.
Which is never a great sign. You kind of felt like that storm had at least weathered until we go up to Lambeau in 3 months and see how that football game goes. And I think there's going to be a segment of our fan base that is looking at this and saying what Jim Polzin said. I did read that article. And then there's others, I think, from an individual standpoint. I think obviously this is a great opportunity for Mac to go down into the Big Ten office and probably be, I don't know if he's going to be Petitti's right-hand man, but to go there, I would love to find out and understand a little bit more about why. Because there's also the fact you are having a lot of instability within the rest of the organization. Right. And so, to sit here and, crucify Mac, I think is unfair. To want answers is very fair. And if those answers line up, he is a Wisconsin guy, played here, came back, has done a lot of really good things as an athletic director. And I think we all are kind of just curious on why. And until you get those answers, it's not going to really matter because it's over. And now you're put in a position where, there's a lot that has to get done. Like you're talking major work that has to be done on multiple fronts. Oh, and by the way, you also have to retain coaches because now all of a sudden if you're coaching – you're looking at this, and I know one of the assistant hockey coaches just left. You have, when you're starting to look at the overall program, men's basketball is in a really good place. Men's football obviously needs to get better, but the women's sports are kicking keister. And what happens when there's a void, and not just one, but 3 voids? That's a lot of voidage. And what do you start thinking in a world where everybody is moving around more than ever? You better batten down the hatches because I'm telling you, the vultures are going to be coming, and you have to weather this storm, and this is going to be a big storm.
So a lot of departures or events occurring over the weekend. I don't know. I'm guessing that there's a lot of people that want to talk about a lot of different things, including the Packers fan base that wanted to see Matt LaFleur gone, and there's lots of other people that are gone, but he's still where he is. But I'm very curious to see where people are at on this. I do want to, before we get to texts and calls on the Carbless Talk and Text line.
Jesse, did you guys take calls on your show last night?
We did not. No, we did a digi only last night. The show that Tausch is referring to, ESPN Wisconsin breaking news coverage. Around 7 o'clock, we went live last night. We were joined by Jim Rutledge, Pablo Iglesias, Riley Yauk, Ben Brust, Evan Cohen.
What did Riley think? It's funny that you mention all those other stars, but Riley is kind of the Badger fan.
Yeah?
He is as optimistic. Did he feel good about this?
Oh, of course he did. Yeah, he thinks that this opens up opportunity, and Luke Fickell now has a chance to show, with Mel Kiper projecting 8, 9, 10 wins for Wisconsin football this year.
I don't think he projected. He said you better.
projection / threat of winning 8, 9, 10 games this year. This is a chance for Luke Fickell to prove himself as the head coach of the football team this year. So that was one of the messages last night. A lot of talk about the instability at the leadership top of the UW system and the athletic department now and everything that you mentioned. So we went for a little over an hour last night. If you want to check any of that breaking news coverage, it's available on the ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison YouTube channels.
Can we address the elephant in the room before we move forward, though?
What is that?
So on the program that you mentioned, and look, you have, I assume jokingly, because you know that I want this show to last for a very long time. But, I suggested when there was someone trying to get you to run for governor about 6 weeks into the existence of this show, we had to deal with that. I suggested that your relationship with Mac, he might want to bring you on as an associate AD. I suggested that you would be a great offensive line coach to teach guys. And you always say that I'm trying to get you other jobs, which is 100% not true. But Evan Cohen on that breaking news coverage suggested that you should be a candidate for the athletic director position. Would you like to put that rumor to rest before it gets legs?
There's no rumor. I mean, if Evan Cohen becomes the chancellor, I'll seriously, I'll really entertain it. That's what I would say.
Do you think you two would work well together?
No. It would be a disaster.
Love to be in those meetings.
It would be an absolute and utter disaster. But I am going to pitch Evan on a job because he does do this a lot, and that's fine. He can do that. I will tomorrow on our appearance. I will be pitching him for a new job for himself too.
Good
teaser alert.
Thank you for staying, and thank you for teasing.
And what I said this morning, because Evan said this, and I don't know how many clips it got, and some people are, he's a toast, a nice guy, but listen, man, I know college football. As far as running a billion-dollar, millions of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of budget, no, that's not my wheelhouse. But I do know college football, and I have a lot of ideas.
You do.
Some are good, some are not good. What I will say is I do think anyone that is asked and wants to help get this program and get this thing moving and help, you should. And if there's anything you can do to help, I think we should. And obviously, in my case, I would entertain any opportunities that you feel like can help win and help get this program steadied. Because it feels as if this thing is, it just feels very wobbly. I think everybody feels that, and we'll see. There's plenty of good people over in that front office that need to steady the ship, and this will be a very tough it's at least a good time of the year because there's not a lot going on. You can really kind of batten it down and figure things out much better than if you did this in August. But nonetheless, there's a lot going to be on a lot of people's plates over there to get this thing stabilized a little bit.
So whatever contributions you can make, you can continue to do this program while doing them, and also continue.
Yeah, it all depends, man. You're right. I know you guys have been, giving me opportunities to go find other gigs, and not to say there's not something that does come up that would be fantastic. I would definitely take a look at it.
I would like to announce that I am officially interested now that Tausch is out in the athletic director job. So I will pursue it independently, and I'll let you guys know how it goes.
Sounds good.
Well, I'd like to keep you around, and I'd like to have you tell us about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, if you've been putting off replacing your windows and doors, now is the time, because Pella of Wisconsin is offering 0% interest financing all the way to 2030. That's right, 0% interest until 2030. And in Wisconsin, your home, it does take a beating year-round. The right windows and doors can improve comfort, boost energy efficiency, and upgrade your home's look. Pella's experts will help you find the perfect fit for your home and your budget. And with 0 interest until 2030, you can upgrade now and pay over time without paying a dime in interest. Don't wait. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
A lot going on in the Wisconsin sports realm. We'll get to most of it, but we want your reactions to Chris McIntosh stepping down as the athletic director at the University of Wisconsin. A lot of stepping down lately. Doc Rivers stepping down. Rich Bisaccia stepping down. What does this mean for Badgers athletics? And is this good news for you as a Badgers fan? Or is it concerning, as Tausch talked about, the leadership void that is being created with so many important roles being vacated? 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. That is the carbless talk and text line. Less is more. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Turio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
You ever notice that some people are picky when it comes to their beer? But Yuengling gets it. That's why they brew a beer for every taste. Start with a legend, a Yuengling traditional lager, a smooth amber lager that's been around longer than our great football rivalries. Then there's light lager. It's crisp and easy drinking. Golden Pilsner with a clean, refreshing taste, and the Black and Tan, a perfect blend of porter and Pilsner. Whether I'm tailgating, watching the game at a sports bar, just kicking back, I'm reaching for a Yuengling. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
I'm Coach Greg Gard. Building a winning team takes more than talent. It takes preparation, strategy, and the right partners. The same is true for building a successful business. That's why I'm proud to work with Bank CMG. They understand what Wisconsin business owners need. Smart banking solutions, local decision making, and a partner who is invested in your success, not just in your account balance. Whether you're looking to finance equipment, manage cash flow, or expand your operations, Bank CMG has the experience and flexibility to help you grow. They're not a big national bank where you're just another number. They're a community bank where you talk to real people who understand your business and your market. I've spent my career building teams. Bank CMG helps Wisconsin businesses build theirs. If you're ready to work with a bank that gets it, visit bankcmg.com/business. Let's build something great together.
Bank CMG is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company. James' client, Amy Simonson, IT administrator with Professional Services Group.
We have several locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin. Having them all under one company has been very helpful.
Big or small, one location or several, James Imaging Systems is your one-stop business technology resource.
And they are on top of everything. When we have a problem, it's answered right away.
James Imaging Systems, IT-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and unrivaled local service and support.
And they're always looking for what else can we do? What else do you need? So they want our company to succeed as well as their own.
Let James Imaging Systems help your business succeed. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Remember how you felt when you were 25? Your morning workouts were a breeze. You had a drive that kicked in way before your first cup of coffee. Does it feel like you're losing your edge? You know, it might not be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Mentality, we'll get to the bottom of what's really going on and build a personalized plan using testosterone replacement and peptide therapies to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. Get back to being the guy you used to be. Book your appointment with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Again, that's lowtusa.com.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
If you're listening on ESPN Madison or on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, you heard during the break a promo in which Jim Rutledge's voice is heard. Jesse, did you not say anything compelling on the breaking news coverage?
Not particularly, no.
Okay, appreciate your honesty. In there, Jim Rutledge says, I have not encountered a single person.
How many people did Jim talk to? The news broke and you guys went on air. Like, how many people was he talking to?
That was just going to be my question. Thank you very much.
A lot of texts out,
Okay.
sounds like. So this goes back to your definition of what's talking to. Is it getting on the phone? And...
even texting is fine. I'm just curious on who the people are that are telling him.
Jim's a well-connected guy. He was pretty, I don't think he was twisting anything when he said that last night.
He also said, in addition to, there's not a single person that I've talked to that is disappointed or upset about this. He also said in there, and he asked the question of whether this is an appealing job. I definitely think the answer to that is yes, but there is work to be done for certain. But the University of Wisconsin is definitely still a good job, but it will not be an easy job for whoever takes over next. Let's get some calls in on the Carbless Talk and Text line, 844-770-3776. I'm gonna take Jim Rutledge's quote and use that as our linchpin question. Are you upset about this? Or are you happy about this? Because we'll see if Jim Rutledge talks to the same people that we're going to talk to on the Carbless Talk and Text line, 844-770-3776. Let us begin with John in Milwaukee. John, good morning. Welcome to Wildy and Tausch. How you doing?
Good. So just a little pushback on what Mark said. He said that he did a good job as AD. You can never do a good job as an AD if you ruin your football program.
I did.
Everything starts and stops there.
Okay.
Right? I mean, football's everything. That's where all the money comes from. Basketball, a little bit. It's all football. So he wrecked their football program. You can blame the coach too, but it's wrecked. It was one of the best. Now it's terrible. And as a CEO, because that's what he basically is, you have to attend the funerals, not the weddings. There's way more funerals than weddings. And he ran out. That's what he did, right? He left it in shambles and left. Didn't try to fix it, leave it in better hands for someone. So I don't know him, so I don't want to say, what he was thinking. But he didn't do a good job, period. And then he left. He left it in shambles because the football program's in shambles. The women's hockey's great. Those are all nice stories. No money. There's
hired
nothing
a good
without
men's
football.
hockey coach.
Nothing without football. Starts and stops with football. Every program. That's where all the money comes from. A little bit of basketball. But he left the football program in shambles. That's just a fact, right?
Yeah, I will wonder what would have happened had they not fired Paul Christ or had he hired Jim Leonard. Again, I'm not of the belief that Luke Fickell is a bad football coach. I think they have mismanaged a very challenging time in college football. I would also argue that as sexy as that hiring supposedly was, because he had taken Cincinnati to the college football playoff, he did that in a previous era as well, right? That was the pre-NIL era. So, look, I still don't know. There's a lot of ifs and buts, including the fact that you live in a world with the transfer portal. You get quarterbacks every year that are new quarterbacks, and three straight were injured and never actually were able to be the guy that they were supposed to be. There's lots of ifs, but you're right. The Wisconsin football program is not in a good place at all. There's no denying that. And you are right that is the engine that makes athletic departments go. That is why Pat Richter and Barry Alvarez and Donna Shalala and getting the football program to become what it became saved the athletic department. So you're definitely right about all that, John. I'm very curious to see how this job is viewed and what kind of people are going to apply for it and have opportunities to take it and see what they do with the job next, because it's not in a great spot. Thanks for the call. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless Talk and Text line. Steve in SoCal, Barry may have to jump in to steady the ship like he did with coaching. Look, I am not going to in any way besmirch Barry Alvarez.
Go boo in a bar.
He's made fun of my earring.
He's not going to give up that show he does with Tark, Derek, and Jesse Nelson.
The Jesse Nelson show featuring Barry Alvarez. Yeah, I don't think so. It's a pretty good gig, especially when they're on location. But, again, and Tausch is right, what he said initially, this is a challenging time on multiple levels here. Like the structure of college athletics, the leadership at the University of Wisconsin, and everyone being new or on their way out the door to be replaced, it's a lot. And I don't know if even a legend like Barry Alvarez at this point in his life and at this point in college athletics would be able to steady the ship. It's taking on a lot of water. It's going to be a lot of work, whoever ends up as the new chancellor, as the new head of the UW system, and as the new athletic director. And maybe at some point, depending on how the season goes, as the new head football coach as well. All right, I want to get some more calls.
Can I say something on the Barry Alvarez front real quick?
Absolutely. No one knows him better than you do, Jesse.
I mean, it's true. I texted him this morning. Wanted to see if he'd be interested in hopping on with us today.
I'm sure he'd just love to.
Did he even reply?
He is out on the golf course today.
Oh, it's smart.
That was his response.
Yep.
I'm golfing today.
Unable to make it. He's out on the golf course. So if that's any indication of whether he's going to come back and step in or
on
not,
the golf course? Call us at the turn.
I think he's got his priorities straight for his stage of his life right now, and I don't think he's interested in stepping back into the fold to help
steady
on
the
an
ship.
interim basis or anything else. Yeah.
Tausch did mention that if you've ever purchased a ticket at the University of Wisconsin or sent a kid to a camp, you got an email from the subject line was a message from Chris McIntosh. I read that this morning. There's some interesting things in there as he moves forward to the Big Ten. We want to get to more of your calls. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Let's get to one more before we break. Let's talk to Eric in Green Bay. Eric, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. What do you think?
Morning. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, so off the back, I don't know who put this together yesterday, but that was an awesome kind of emergency podcast put together. If that was Jesse at the house. But
you're welcome.
I'll tell you what, man. I was driving back to Green Bay after a tough Brewer game. I had two sleeping toddlers. My wife was sleeping, and then it was rainy, gloomy, and then that podcast took me home. So if anybody hasn't listened to it, Rutledge, Pablo, Riley Young, Brad Nortman, Brush, Evan Cohen made an appearance. It was like every ESPN Wisconsin personality outside of Tausch associated with the university. It was great. It was a really good listen.
Just missing two.
And, I thought, so I guess my quick reaction to answer your question, I'm not so bummed about Mac leaving as I am concerned that, in his position at this point in time, he feel like this was probably something that he couldn't fix. So I'm more concerned about the bigger picture. What does this mean for the athletic department? What does this mean for a potential future athletic director? It doesn't make me super confident with the football team going into this year, maybe in the future, with how publicly Mac has kind of tied himself to Fickle, and now Mac is leaving. Mm-hmm. And I guess lastly, too, again, looking big picture, right now, the university needs a chancellor. They need an athletic director, and there's a lot of uncertainty about the football coach. And everybody's been alluding to it. This is an era where we need money coming in, and we need the right people in this job to get that money in. And right now, it's hard not to be concerned because you don't know where that's going to come from and who's going to be channeling that money in. So I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, I agree, Eric. Thanks for the call, and thanks for the high praise for Jesse assembling that news team in the immediate aftermath of the breaking news of Chris McIntosh's departure. I have a question that I would like us to ponder as we move forward, because, again, reading Jim's column, hearing what Eric said, listening to you guys talk about last night's program, what is your responsibility here if you're Chris McIntosh? And what do Badgers fans want? Like, it feels to me like, you heard what Jim Rutledge said about no one I've talked to is disappointed about this. But there's like criticism that he jumped ship, right? So does he have a responsibility to stay on and fix what's wrong? But at the same time, those same people are arguing that he's not capable of fixing it. So what exactly did you want?
That's a damned if you do, damned if you do.
Right? So I that's kind of my question is what would you have liked him to have done? Because our first two calls have both criticized him for leaving and using the word shambles, etc. But you also it doesn't feel to me like Badgers fans had faith that he was going to fix it. So maybe it's better that he left. Like, I'm fascinated by the reaction. We'll get to more of your reaction as we roll on. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. List is more, and you don't need to hop on a plane or board a cruise ship or take a job with the Big Ten to feel like you've escaped. Your next getaway is waiting in Milwaukee at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Start with the stay. Biggest rooms in Milwaukee, nearly 500 beautifully designed hotel rooms and luxury suites, perfect for a weekend reset, a date night, or celebrating something big, and you're only steps away from everything happening inside. And if you're hungry, there are so many options. Dream Dance Steakhouse, The Marketplace, Rockin' Brews, Canal Street Cafe, Ruyi Asian Kitchen, Cream City Coffee Company. All kinds of food and drink specials happening all the time. And if you're celebrating a wedding, a birthday, or an anniversary, their event spaces are built to make it unforgettable. Sophisticated relaxation, incredible flavor, and a full night out all in one place. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. More of your thoughts on Chris McIntosh's departure on Wilde and Tausch. Stick around.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
An uninspired, cookie-cutter trade show booth is unlikely to move the needle.
Picture this: lights, motion, energy, engagement. A space so bold it stops people mid-step.
That's what the award-winning team at Captivate Exhibits has been delivering for over 30 years.
From high-impact trade show exhibits to immersive lobbies, history walls, and culture-driven interiors, Captivate transforms ordinary square footage into unforgettable brand experiences.
Get started today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
Some drinks just belong in the summer rotation, and the new Carbless Lemon Iced Tea Vodka 4-pack is one of them. This limited release blends refreshing lemon iced tea flavor with smooth vodka and no carbonation for a crisp, easy drinking sip that feels right at home on the porch, by the water, or by the grill. Cool, classic, and full of summer flavor, it's got the makings of a seasonal staple. The new Carbless Lemon Iced Tea Vodka 4-pack. Go to drinkcarbless.com to find Carbless brand new flavor near you and grab it while you can.
Mark Tauscher here, and you know I love a smart play from the pocket. That's why I joined UW Credit Union. With their mobile banking app, I can make smart plays from anywhere. And with rewards checking perks like early payday, I score my money sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and make the smart play by becoming a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
When you're getting married, the rings matter. There's something you wear for a lifetime. That's why my fiance and I went to Paul's Jewelers. Paul's Jewelers specializes in custom jewelry for life's biggest moments. Lab-grown or natural diamonds, great pricing, and a lifetime warranty, so your jewelry can be refurbished, repaired, or refitted anytime down the road. Their team made the entire process easy and stress-free. I can't wait to show off my wedding band after our big day. Create your masterpiece today by visiting Paul's Jewelers in West Allis.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices, One call, that's all.
Some companies build projects. At Professional Construction, Inc., we build relationships.
That means showing up early, taking pride in the details, and having each other's backs, on and off the job site.
We're looking for skilled carpenters who really care about their craft and want to be part of a team.
Not just another paycheck, but a place where the people you work with actually matter.
If you work hard, take pride in what you build, and want to join a tight-knit crew, then we'd love to meet you.
Apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Let's celebrate Milwaukee. Ewald Automotive Group's 62-year anniversary sale is on. This month, we're celebrating with anniversary savings on over 1,400 cars, trucks, and SUVs. Payments as low as $250 a month. Financing as low as 0%. Plus, 2 years of included maintenance on us. The Ewald Automotive Group's 62-year anniversary sales event. This month only at every Ewald location.
Go to ewaldauto.com.
Select models with approved credit. See dealer for details. Expires month end.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Carbless talk and text line. Less is more. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Let's go to St. Petersburg, Florida. We'll talk to Craig. Craig, good morning. Thanks for holding on. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. What are you thinking?
Hey, thanks, Jason. Enjoy your show. I'm going to come from a perspective as a former sports reporter. Worked in Wisconsin, worked in California, worked in Florida. I'm going to slightly disagree with you on whether Wisconsin was prepared for NIL.
Okay.
5 years ago. My brother is a big fan. Went to a lot of the tournaments out west, and he would go to these booster events. And after he attended a couple booster events, they said, in the future, if you want to attend these events, we're going to need a $1,000 donation from you. And he said he wasn't ready to do that. And I think a lot of Wisconsin fans weren't ready to do that. And I think we're also seeing, as far as the big-time donors, we're not seeing that. I think Wisconsin needs like 5 Ted Kellners to really compete financially. And I think Chris McIntosh, I'm disappointed that he didn't stay. Not mad at him because I think he sees the picture here. I think he sees that Wisconsin financially is not in a position that it's going to compete on an elite level. Because if you are, you're going to retain a basketball player like John Blackwell. You just are. And I think, like I said, I think he sees the big picture, and he sees that we are going to have a really hard time financially competing, and the Wild Wild West is going to continue, and Wisconsin is just, and we've seen it with basketball already, and in a couple cases with football. They've become somewhat of a feeder system for players who can get more money and play elsewhere.
Yeah, again, when I look at where they're at, my question is then, do you have confidence that the next athletic director, whoever it is, A, is going to do things differently and better, and B, Ted Kellners don't grow on trees, right? I don't know if there's a lot of super deep-pocketed alumni that are looking to donate, right? It's not investing, it's donating to the athletic program. Like, this is why I just hate the world we live in college athletics, because you just said it, and you're right about it, Craig. Like, in order to win, you got to buy the wins, right? You're looking to buy wins, basically. Buy championships. That's what college athletics has become. It's just concerning to me. Thanks for the call. Tausch, what do you make of Craig's position?
Yeah, it'd be great to have monster donors all over the place, and we're spending all this, but that there's other issues at play. That's obviously a big part of it, and the John Blackwell feeder system. It's an interesting point. I had not. Obviously we all kind of saw it, and you understand you have to work within a budget, but that's where at some point you need to get all of this from a systematic standpoint figured out, because it's only going to get worse. And as far as keep coming back to the why of what Mac did and why he's going to the Big Ten office is maybe I think he probably feels as if he's going to be able to make some things happen down there that will maybe level some of these issues that he sees and understood because he's had 5 years of experience in dealing with it. Those can all be at play too. But the bottom line is that's great for Mac, personally. But as a whole, just like from a player standpoint, it's fans are always going to be more interested in the organization because that's what stays, that's what stands, and that's what you're pulling for. Mm-hmm. A lot of things got to get worked through, and the fact that this has played out the way that it has just makes it even more challenging as someone that loves the University of Wisconsin.
You've got a lot of things on your plate, too, including the Beat Tausch promotion with Annex Wealth Management.
Indeed. Jesse, throw that little script up on the digital screen. That is tomorrow. I'll be heading down to Annex Wealth Management Studios. They have a beautiful studio. I'm hoping that we get all of the logistics worked out so that we can do a great show down there. I know that we will be doing a great webinar. That is right after our show tomorrow. Register at events.annexwealth.com. That's events.annexwealth.com. And if you can beat me, and I'm very beatable, there are some great prizes that you're going to win. And you're going to learn a lot about investments, and you got taxes coming up, and you have all of these new things in the big, beautiful bill that you have to work through. All of these questions that you may have, you're going to get answers to and help you with your financial literacy, and you can beat me and win some awesome prizes along the way. Again, that's events.annexwealth.com right at noon tomorrow. Going to take, I think there's some Amazon gift cards. There's a lot of really cool stuff that we're going to be giving out. So register today. Show up ready. Bring your best game. Because tomorrow, when the bell rings and the questions fly, we'll find out once and for all who is the real financial literacy champ at events.annexwealth.com.
So you and I will both be in different locations tomorrow because the annual tailgate tour bus departs tomorrow from the football stadium, and so I'll be talking
from Lambeau Field.
Yeah, I don't know what the legalese is on saying where I'm going to do the show from. So
we got to get the Chippewa Falls.
I'll say it. The legalese. Allegedly, it'll be at Lambeau Field.
I have an office that no longer has a lot of the items that had piled up in it. I had to clean it out, so I'm finishing out the clean out of it. So I will look a lot different.
Are you getting a new office at that undisclosed location, or how's that working?
A number of us are indeed. So and we're apparently going to move in leading into the draft. So the deadline is Wednesday to get all your stuff out. So I'm almost completely moved out.
What are they going to do with all those old offices?
So I know that they have expanded the equipment room. So the old Red Batty equipment room is much larger now, and I don't know if they're then going up for more storage or if they're going to turn that into some sort of lounge area where we used to be.
Shoulder pads.
They
shoulder
built
pads in there.
They built the third locker room up there. The additional locker room. There's the home locker room, the visitors locker room, and then the third locker room.
What are they going to start doing up there? They need a third locker room. Flag football, probably.
Video games.
No, flag football.
So like for the Badgers game with Notre Dame, when they played the LSU game, which I know you were at, and what was that, 2016? Is that how long ago it was?
Yeah, it's been 16. A while.
Yeah. The Badgers took the visitors locker room, and LSU was in like a trailer or something. Like they had like a temporary locker room. So
for one game every 10 years, they're going to build a locker room.
Well, and then they had the soccer, they had FC Bayern.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If that's it, I get it. If you're going to be doing a ton of, and it sounds like they are, that's awesome. Great.
So the Badgers will have one of those locker rooms. They don't allow the Packers locker room to be used by visiting
hallowed ground
dignitaries and teams. Yes, exactly.
Do you have an office mate?
I don't.
But isn't there did they just redo the old locker room, or is it a brand new locker room?
No. So the visitors locker room is still largely how you would remember it. Not that you were ever there as a visitor, because you were always a Packer.
Yep.
The Packers locker room obviously was overhauled and now is ensconced in velvet.
But it's the same footprint.
Yes.
Okay,
so that's in the same location. And then the new locker room for the third locker room is upstairs by what will be our former area. I will also say that they have a new team meeting room, and they have converted the old team meeting room into the new media auditorium, which will be up and running for the draft. Not that we need it for the first draft.
Does that mean there's going to be more media covering this team?
I don't think so.
That's what we need.
I don't get the impression they're giving out passes.
We need more insiders, I think, in this business.
Yeah, I was going to make a joke there, but I'm just not going to. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wisconsin Athletic Director. This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
I would just say that right now I think all options are on the table. I think that they went through that trade thing and they talked to teams, and it's not like those talks are shut down.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino, Tony Wendorf and Associates, and Smart 18 Union on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
The Run for the Roses is coming to St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join us Saturday, May 2nd for the Kentucky Derby Day in partnership with Woodford Reserve. Watch the race live, sip on specialty cocktails including the classic mint julep, and dress to impress. Best hat and best dress contests are on the card. Admission is free, or you can upgrade to VIP for $75 for exclusive food stations and 2 complimentary cocktails. Visit stkatearts.com to RSVP or grab your tickets at stkatearts.com.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
The Bucks ended their season with a 126-106 loss to the Philadelphia 76ers. Shortly after the game, it was announced that Doc Rivers is stepping down as head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. Here is Doc reflecting on the 2025 to 2026 season.
Didn't go the way I wanted it to go, obviously. I always say I could do a better job. We could have had better health. We could have all kinds of things, but I'm not a big guy looking back. You know, all you can do is look forward. So we did a lot of things to improve a lot of the young guys. Unfortunately, that was kind of the road that presented itself for us, and we did that.
It will be an interesting offseason for the Bucks, with Giannis rumors continuing to circulate, plus now a head coaching search. I'm Will Summers.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN, brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Fisco, Fisco, Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco, Fisco, Fisco.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Jesse has been sweating his tuchus off, collecting text messages on the Carbless Talkin' text line. What do you got so far, Jesse?
Some good ones coming in. This one from Chris in Nashville. A little long, but I'll read it for you. Hiring Fickle is the same as trading for Dame. There's a 19 out of 20 chance it works out. But both Badger football and Bucks basketball got the 1 out of 20, and those bad odds hurt the organizations. No one at that moment would have not made those moves, including Chris McIntosh and John Horst. What do you think of that comparison?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris is, there is no doubt both of those moves were universally, praised.
Yeah.
When Luke Fickell was hired, I know I was excited. I think there were some fans that were disappointed that Jimmy didn't get that job, and I understood that. As far as Dame, maybe there's some that thought that was a bad move because he was older. I was not in that camp, and I never am going to fault people for making big moves. But the bottom line is when they don't work out, the Fickell hire, last time I checked, he's the head football coach of the Wisconsin Badgers. They have a huge season ahead of them. The Dame thing was obviously a disaster. Just didn't work. And what's happening? A lot of people are going to lose their jobs.
And Giannis is telling reporters in Philadelphia for the finale that he feels disrespected or something.
We got plenty of Bucks we can talk about here coming up. Minor story. Head coaching vacancy again.
So in the limited amount, I know Rutledge has got his sources that he's talked to, and Jesse, you guys didn't take calls, but you had Nordy and Brust, other Wisconsin alumni. Is the vibe that this is a positive that Mac is leaving and that there's going to be new leadership, or is this more along where I'm coming from, where there's a disappointment and oh boy, what's the unknown?
Mm-hmm. I asked on our show last night, is this a good thing for Wisconsin athletics? And a couple of members of the panel laughed when I asked the question. Like it was preposterous to assume that it would be a bad thing. So I think that tells you where everyone's confidence was in the leadership of Wisconsin athletics. I do have another text here. This one's That's from Chris in Nashville. Let's get to this one.
That one looks very familiar.
Yeah,
I feel like I've heard that one.
Ryan in Trevor, 844-770-3776. Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. I don't know where it is. We've, I think, talked about this before.
Browntown?
Could be. So with Mac out, do we think Jimmy Leonard would be more willing to come back and right the ship for us at the University of Wisconsin?
A lot of ship writing.
Like Fickle, you just said it, Tausch. Like Fickle's still the head coach. I think everyone's jumping to the conclusion that no matter who comes in as the new athletic director, that's going to be the first move, and that's not set in stone yet at this point.
No, this is. I mean, we all knew that this was a huge year, as I already stated. Mac had, I think, 2 or 3 different votes of confidence last year for Luke. The season did not go well. As far as this year, there's more resources. There's more kind of on the line with the schedule and how things have laid out. I think last year we all thought was going to be really difficult with the schedule, and it was. This year, the schedule lines up in a better place. But just like when a new GM or a new president or a new, when they come into town, there's always that, I think there's an angst about them wanting their own person. So that's another layer to this. And, obviously Marcus Sedbury is the interim AD. I don't know how long that's going to go. I think people think, oh, the chancellor's leaving and it'll get a new chancellor in a month. No, that's just not how that whole thing works. Those things usually, unless there's an heir apparent, there's usually a long process to go about and finding that chance. And I don't know hardly any athletic directors or coaches, especially in this environment, that are going to take jobs without knowing where they're going to be positioned, how they're going to be funded. Like, that is now more important than ever. And when you have uncertainty at all of those levels, it just makes it even trickier and more difficult to secure top talent to come into your program.
Can I ask you one last question so we can put a bow on this? When we look at the resurgence of Wisconsin athletics, it's basically 3 people, right? It's Donna Shalala, who prioritized fixing the athletic department.
Really fixing football, but yep.
Yes. Picking Pat Richter as the new athletic director, who was so vital to fixing football and fixing the athletic department. And Barry Alvarez, which you hired a Hall of Fame coach, as it turned out. How important are all 3 of those to be aligned in your mind? And I don't know, like Rebecca Blank was actually, rest in peace, the chancellor who hired Mac, who decided on Mac, right? And then she left for Northwestern, and then now the current chancellor is also leaving. Like, you just talked about the uncertainty and whether you're going to take a job in an athletic department where there's uncertainty about who the chancellor is. How is the pattern that you want to follow a strong football coach, a strong athletic director, and a strong chancellor all working in concert? Or do you just need a chancellor who's going to let you do what you need to do in the athletic department, I guess is my question.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to be aligned because so much of obviously there's money coming from the state. There's money coming from the university, and obviously the media deals. There's all of those things need to be worked, but you're seeing, I don't know if it was the Florida coach or one of the coaches that just redid their deal. They don't even report to an athletic director.
Mm-hmm.
So I know this. I think having a strong organization makes coaches better as long as they're aligned and seeing things the same way. It'll be worse if you don't. And how you go about finding that, this isn't, you mentioned this earlier, this is no longer the Pat Richter, Barry Alvarez era. Like that, those days are bygone. It is now professional sports. You need talent evaluators, you need money, you need a constant influx of money. You need people that can manage that money, that can, allocate it in the right places, because especially for the school that doesn't have a ton of deep-pocketed donors, or at least that not on comparison to other places.
Right.
You better make sure you're hitting. And I would look at this analytically. You need a strong front office to kind of get this thing figured out. And that would be as important as any of these other moves. But this is no longer collegiate. This is professional.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not looking at it that way, you're going to fall further behind.
Do you think Chris McIntosh is going to close his UW credit union accounts and go to a different institution? Because that would be a huge mistake on his part.
No, of course, for every stage of life, whether you're the player, whether you're a coach, whether you're an administrator, or whether you take a new job in a new town, UW Credit Union is still here forever. You probably serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. And you know what? Members get their money up to 2 days sooner with early payday. UW Credit Union's mobile app offers a simple way to check accounts, make transfers, and more. That is a smart play from the pocket. Join today at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
The 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
According to Time Magazine, Gen Z is drinking 20% less alcohol than all previous generations. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Over our 65 years in business, we've stayed up on all the trends, where you'll always find 2,000 varieties of beer, 4,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines. We now also stock over 100 varieties and growing of THCA, CBD, and Delta-9 non-alcoholic specialty-infused drinks. So whether you're experimenting with the latest wellness trend, or you just want something in your fridge that your college kid can call you cool for, come check out our expansive selection. And while you're at it, you do deserve that bottle of bourbon. Discount Liquor in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
And visit us online at discountliquorinc.com.
There's nothing more meaningful that you can do for yourself, your family, or your friends than finally getting rid of that pain so they can enjoy time with you again, especially heading into vacation season. QC Kinetics takes care of your pain in the office, and you go right on with your day. It's that easy. If you say yes to any of these questions, you are the kind of patient that QC Kinetics regenerative treatments help every single day. If you have consistent joint pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back, the pain keeps you from getting a good night's sleep. If you're missing work or saying no to activities that you enjoy, if you don't want surgery or a long recovery, and you feel like you're at the end of your rope, taking medications every day just to get through. If you answered yes to any one of those, today could be your day to turn that corner and finally get relief. With locations in Mequon and Greenfield, plus weekend appointments, QC Kinetics treatments are made easy, done in office, and you go about your day. The consultation is absolutely free, so don't wait. Give them a call today at 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And we are, generally speaking, a Packers-centric show. So maybe we should talk about them a little bit. Because Brian Gutekunst made a somewhat significant move on Friday after our program had ended. Trading wide receiver Dontayvion Wicks to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a fifth-round pick this year, number 153 overall, and a sixth-round pick next year. And Dontayvion Wicks subsequently signing a one-year, $12.5 million extension with the Eagles, which is more than the Packers paid Christian Watson on his one-year half-measure type deal, as he was still on the PUP list when he signed it last year. Tausch, when you saw this news break, your first reaction was what?
I think it was smart in the fact that you're recouping some draft capital, but I think it's also very risky because you don't know what you have. You have a guy, Matthew Golden, that this was to me, Matthew Golden, get ready.
Yep.
Get ready to rock and roll. Christian Watson, please stay healthy. So Romeo Dobbs gone. I wonder how. I also thought about the disgruntled list.
I did too.
If Wicks was in that category, and I think he obviously, I would be shocked if he wasn't, because he's a competitor and he wants reps and he wants to get out there, he wants to make some money and he wants to play. And unless there was an injury, I think his reps are going to be pretty limited. So I understand where some fans are looking at this and saying, I don't know, should you have done this? You have to be proactive. And especially in a year which I think the fact that Matt LaFleur mentioned disgruntlement as something he needs to address, the best way to clean that up is to let other players that may be thinking about disgruntlement say, okay, you're going to be disgruntled, you ain't going to be here. Bam. And by the way, you wanted to recoup, and you believe that Savion Williams is going to be ready to elevate himself, that you can win with Bo Melton, and you're looking at it, and you could say, well, I can get another year out of him, but at what cost? It's all great when you say, well, just play it out and do it. Some guys can do that, some guys can't. And when you can't, and then things start going a little sideways, it turns into a blank storm. And I think the Packers are realizing that if you are not going to keep guys, and unless they're a critical piece to your team for that year, I think they're going to be more proactively doing this because you don't know what kind of compensatory pick. And to be able to get a fifth and a sixth for someone that you were not going to keep,
right?
You don't know what kind of contract they would have gotten, and you wouldn't have known how many reps. Because if everybody stays healthy this year, which more than likely won't happen, he's not going to have a big year. And so I don't know if his group kind of pushed this a little bit, because you started hearing rumors, and I kept thinking, boy, it's really weird to hear rumors about a fourth and fifth string wideout.
Right.
Like the Jets were interested in it. So that agenda was getting pushed.
Yeah.
And to the Eagles' credit, they believe that this is a guy that for 2 years they're going to get for less than $15 million a season. If he can be their number two, they're going to say, thank you very much to Green Bay, because this also tells me that A.J. Brown's going to be gone out of Philly.
Right.
And so I think all in all, I love the move because of all the things I just mentioned.
So great synopsis. A couple things to follow up. First of all, I agree with you. Look, they need draft picks, right? If I'm going to sit here and criticize their depth and say, I like their starting 22, but I think they're in trouble if they have any injuries. You need to replenish your depth. How do you do that? You need more draft picks to draft and replace with. So now you're up to 8 picks in this draft, still no first rounder. And with the 4th rounder you got for Rashawn Gary, the 6th rounder you get in the Wicks trade, and potentially 4 compensatory picks, you're up to most likely 12 or 13 picks next year. Still no first rounder, but hey, now you have some ammunition that if you want to package up some picks, you have a chance to maybe go up and be able to have a late first-round pick. The question that I had, Tausch, and we've talked about this with trading pick for pick during the draft, like the Packers trading their second-round pick and moving back several years ago in a trade with the Lions, and the Lions taking Brian Branch with that pick. The Packers trading with the Minnesota Vikings, and the Vikings allowing the Packers at number 34 to get Christian Watson. And the argument is always, well, those are picks. It's not players. It's about the picks, and GMs claim that doesn't matter. Well, now we're talking about picks for a player, and you've sent a wide receiver who at times you felt very good about, and that you don't win the Detroit Thanksgiving game without, to a team that you're competing with in the NFC. How does that part of the puzzle strike you?
It doesn't.
Okay.
I think you're seeing more and more that's not, a huge part of what's going on. I think there's still, when you have a stud player, you're not interested if it's Myles Garrett or, Micah Parsons. That's why I was so surprised that the Cowboys would send them to a team that has gutted them in the playoffs. That'd be like us sending someone to San Francisco. It's like, what are we doing? But I think it's who are we getting the best deal from, and it's up to us as a front office to make that work because, if you really felt that strongly, you don't let that player walk out the building.
Right.
So the Eagles obviously have kind of, been able to beat us in the playoffs and have some success against us. So I don't think they're looking at this and saying, oh, boy, what if that fifth-round pick becomes Micah Parsons part 2? I think they're looking at it and saying, we're probably going to try to we want to get younger and cheaper on offense. Mm-hmm. We have too many high-priced guys. We need to do this. This is a really good opportunity. And by the way, Mannion must like Dontayvion Wicks because I'm sure there's some conversation there. He's the OC. Obviously had a year in Green Bay. And Dontayvion Wicks has done some good things. It's just the consistency hasn't been there. And this is a low-risk flyer that the Eagles are taking on somebody that could be, and I'm sure he believes really will fit with what they're doing. And I'm sure he probably is looking at saying, we probably mismanaged or didn't utilize him enough.
Right.
In Philly, he'll get this opportunity. So I think this has a chance to be one of those rare win-wins if Green Bay can utilize that draft pick to improve their depth, which is obviously, as we've talked about all offseason, something that they need to be concerned about.
So now at wide receiver, you're looking at Christian Watson in the last year of his contract, or the 1 year of his extension contract, but he'll be set to be a free agent after the season. Jaden Reed, last year of his contract, set to be a free agent after the season. Matthew Golden, not the most productive rookie season, limited opportunities, some injuries. Savion Williams, not really sure what he is at this point, right? Gadget guy, sort of a kickoff return guy, but not really. And then Bo Melton, who you really kept for special teams, but played more wide receiver than he did cornerback, which had been his alleged position. Do they now need to, and I can't believe I'm saying this, given how many times we talked about how much talent they had in the wide receiver room, do they now need to add a wide receiver in this draft?
No.
Okay. They didn't have Reed. They didn't have Golden. And I don't remember if they had Savion Williams or not in that Detroit game. And that was when Dontayvion Wicks actually got an opportunity to be productive. He caught 6 of the 7 targets thrown his direction for 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of the touchdowns was on 4th down. He then had the game-clinching 4th down catch across the middle to win the game. You're deep until you're not.
I would argue that position is the best stocked on this team. And I don't even know who else I'd even rank next.
Even after the departures of both him and Romeo Doubs.
Yes.
Sky Moore is here now.
Oh. What position is in a better position depth-wise than the wide receiver spot on this football team? You got 2. I'm not putting Bullard. No, I got Bullard as he's going to be your slot guy.
Is running back okay?
No. I think running back is the first spot I'm looking for outside of O-line. I think they should be looking at a home run hitting, limousine riding dog.
Yeah, and you can read all about their depth issues on channel3000.com today as our preview series continues with the running backs. All right, so you feel good about this is the bottom line. You feel good about this trade. You're not worried about depth at wide receiver. You're not worried about Dontayvion Wicks going to Philadelphia and being a 1,000-yard receiver. This is going to be a good thing for the Green Bay
What would make
Packers.
me think he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver? He's barely cracked in the lineup here. You've been raving about him from the moment he came, and I think most of it is because of Tony Bennett and the fact that he was a Virginia guy. I think that's your big love for Wicks. Why else was there? I mean, he was
Matt
injury
LaFleur,
prone.
Again, Matt LaFleur himself said to Buck and Aikman that he reminded him of Devontae Adams.
Was he praying to him? Was that
he was not? I don't think he was quite as mad about Buck and Aikman mentioning that on Monday Night Football as he was about Tom Rinaldi with the praying every time Anders Carlson went on the field. No, but again, he did not have the opportunities that if you were on a team where they didn't have 5 guys at wide receiver that they liked and they were having to divvy up all those snaps. I would have liked to have seen what he might have done if there weren't quite so many guys that were all in kind of the same boat at the position. And now he's going to get that opportunity because you're right. The Eagles are going to move on from A.J. Brown. He is going to be in position to be their number 2 receiver, and he's going to have all kinds of opportunities with an offensive coordinator who knows him, who was around him all last season as the quarterback's coach in Green Bay, and now Sean Mannion. I don't think there's any question that if you're Howie Roseman and you were considering this, you asked Sean Mannion's opinion on him. And they went through with the deal. I thought they got a lot for him, though. I will say that. Like, to get the second pick in 2027, I can't criticize this trade. Even if Dontayvion Wicks does become the player that many thought he was capable of being, you need more picks.
If he becomes a legit stud number 2, you definitely should have got more for him. But we don't know that.
We have no evidence that it's going to happen, like you said, though.
That's why I'm completely fine with this, and I really think that there's probably a level of disgruntlement that maybe we didn't know about either.
That was the part that I was going to get to next, is that without any evidence, you could say the word allegedly if that makes you more comfortable, but he was in our draft, right? When we drafted our disgruntled players, he had career lows in snaps, targets, receptions, yards, and touchdowns. I doubt anybody who's worth their salt and is competitive was happy about that. So do I think he might have been among the players who were unhappy in their roles? 100%. I do think that.
Yeah, and I also think that Goody wanted to kind of clear the runway a little bit and let Matthew Golden take off. Like, I think that's a part of this, too. And you don't want to muddy the waters. You want to give a good, clean look and give him every opportunity, because if you're going to use a first-round pick, you're going to utilize that player. And he needs to elevate. He needs to take a huge jump. Love the way he finished the season, but we need to see that on a consistent basis. And they're going to be leaning on him to be critical to what they're doing in the passing game.
We'll talk more Packers next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
An epic Brewers Pirates series is coming April 24th through the 26th. Kick it off with Star Wars Night on Friday the 24th. And check out a post-game laser show presented by ESPN Milwaukee. Then on Saturday the 25th, get a Brewers Windbreaker giveaway courtesy of Courts. Wrap up the series with Family Sunday fun and kids cheer free. Plus, the first 5,000 kids take home an Abner Uribe poster. Grab a seat at Brewers.com.
At Junior Achievement, students learn how innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship can turn a simple idea into something that changes an industry. With support from Cost Corporation, students are discovering how engineering, product design, and smart marketing bring great ideas to life. From pioneering studio headphones to building a brand recognized around the world, Cost shows students how technology and creativity shape the way we experience music. Learn more at ja.org. Got your tax refund? Before it mysteriously disappears, invested in something you'll actually see every day. Your home. At Exterior Pros and Baths, turn that refund into energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel. And they'll take it even further with $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during the April savings event. But don't wait, this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And while buying a home is a big deal, it certainly doesn't have to be and shouldn't be a stressful experience. At Great Midwest Bank, we combine competitive rates, fast pre-approvals, and honest advice from knowledgeable loan officers to help you every step of the way through your home buying or building journey. For 90 years, our customers have been part of the GMB family. Experience a state of tranquility at GreatMidwestBank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
When you work smart, incredible things can happen. By joining Smart 18, the union for Wisconsin sheet metal workers, you'll open the door to a brighter future. You'll learn and earn more. Enjoy awesome benefits across the board. Build a great career and feel empowered and supported every step of the way. The smartest career decision you'll ever make starts with Smart 18. Find out more today at smart18info.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Toscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Biz Expo is May 21st at Brookfield Conference Center. Attend strategy seminars on topics including business growth, preparing for cyber risks, AI for marketers, and much more. Stay for the lunch and learn on leadership and the cocktails and conversations panel. No suits, no scripts, no slides, just candid insights from leaders who make high-stakes decisions every day. Research the area's top product and service providers. Learn, network, and connect at BizExpo on May 21st. Go to biztimes.com/BizExpo.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Tausch, you and I love Josh DiMaggio, Big Cat, as we like to call him, right? Yep, we're on the same page there. I am curious, his take on the Dontayvion Wicks trade is, and I'm quoting here, this is Goody forcing Matt LaFleur to play Matthew Golden. Do we really think Matt LaFleur has to be forced to play Matthew Golden?
No, but I do think there are some steps to a process where you really believe in someone and you want to give them those opportunities. And it reminds me, obviously, a little bit about Moneyball, but to a different degree. I think this is more, again, I'm not in the locker room, so I can't say this for certain. But I think the fact that Matt LaFleur would bring something up unprompted makes you tell that is a huge issue, and that when there's something like that, you can't just say things, you have to do things. And by doing things, you put things into effect, because players, just like parenting, you can sit there and say all the right things. Hey, get out and do all this. Stop scrolling on your phone. And if you're scrolling on your phone for 4 hours, your kids are going to be like, what the? You're scrolling on your phone. Right. You have to set an example, and you have to show that you mean what you're talking about, and it can't just be words. And when you make moves and you don't re-sign guys and you trade people, even though maybe that's what they want, that can maybe reset that tone for, we need people to accept their roles and do them to the best of their abilities while they try to earn more opportunities in bigger roles.
And I don't want to lose sight of a bigger point, and a really good one that I don't know if people thought about. I think his agent, David Mulugheta, was laying the groundwork for this for a while. To your point about the trade rumors, like, Where does a trade rumor that the New York Jets are interested in acquiring him come from? It's not like Goody's going around leaking that out. That's coming.
Maybe he is because he wants to drum up interest, and maybe there's more opportunities to get.
Or maybe the agent wants to drum up interest and get him out of this.
The agent wants to get him some more money, and he wants to give him some opportunities that maybe can make him more money. So that always happens. Right. But I think in this case, this is the seedy underbelly world of NFL insider trader information. This is what this is. Because I don't remember. Obviously, we cover the Packers on a daily basis, so we hear these and pay attention. I'm not certain if I hear that Indianapolis's 4th or 5th string wideout want to get a 5th or 6th. Nobody cares.
You're right.
So I think it's a great job by his team to get him a couple, $12, $13 million more, to get him to an opportunity where he can shine rather than to sit back here and probably have another frustrating year where he's not going to get the opportunities. He's not going to get the chance to showcase what he can do. And for both sides to figure that out and get it done, I think is a testament to good communication.
You said earlier you did not think that Dontayvion Wicks was going to be re-signed by the Packers.
What do you mean? You just saw they traded him. Of course they're not going to re-sign him.
You know
what I mean?
I do. You didn't think that before he got traded.
I don't think they're going to re-sign Wicks either.
You didn't think before they traded him. I guess I need to clarify that. Before they traded him, you did not anticipate them re-signing him anyway.
No.
So now
they'll re-sign him.
Christian Watson.
Give me that look for.
You think you're being difficult?
Maybe. No, I mean, I think everybody and I think the interesting one's going to be Jaden Reed.
I'm glad we got there because that was going to be my question. Does this tell you now that Jaden Reed will be a Packer?
Yes. Yep. As long as the terms fit with Green Bay. Green Bay will not overpay him. Green Bay will pay him a lower 2, top 3 wideout spot. They're not going to pay him as a 1 or a top tier 2. Now, if the season plays out and he balls out, then you'll have a tougher decision to make. But if they're able to sign him to a less than Romeo Doubs contract, and then in the next 6 months or during the season, I could see that happening. But if he gets to the market and the Packers have to pay him in that tier, they could do that because Matthew Golden is still 2 or 3 years out from being that guy. Mm-hmm. But Christian Watson is going to, if he stays healthy, is going to get over $30 million a year. It's going to be whether or not he gets closer to 40. That's where that's going to get tricky. So Jaden Reed, I do believe they have valued him and are looking at him as being a core player in the future. And when they do that, they try to get ahead of it. And I'd be curious if there's contract talks. I'm sure when you talk with Jaden Reed, and you'll get some intel like you did last year. When did you get intel from him? Was that last year?
I don't know what you're referring to. I
swore there was something that he broke his collarbone or something was wrong with him.
Yeah, he did not have the Lisfranc injury. He had the Jones fracture in his foot. You might have heard. All right, last question on this. If you're Jaden Reed and you have not been traded to Philadelphia and you are hoping to get paid as you are going into the last year of his contract, do you play out this year? Or if the Packers come to you in September or October with an offer like they did with Quay Walker, who obviously never signed that, are you betting on yourself or are you taking the offer if it's ballpark good money but not certainly top of market or free agent market money?
How does Jaden Reed view himself? If he views himself as a number 1, he is going to play it out. If he is content being a 2/3 and being a really nice player, he would accept that. That's completely. I think every player's got a different threshold of where he's at. Jaden Reed's obviously been injured. He's had some stuff happen to him over the course of the last season, and you start becoming more in touch with the business side of this. So for him, I would hope that he plays it out and he gets paid. Because, as I've told you a million times, the only way you really get paid is when you force them to pay you. Unless you're a superstar, which I don't envision Jaden Reed being. I think Jaden Reed can be a really good player, and I think he can be a solid 2 in this league. He is not going to be a number 1, at least with the way the Packers have currently built their team.
Well, if he wants to dream fearlessly, he better make sure that he insures carefully with American Family Insurance.
American Family Insurance, a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch from the jump. And, playing in Green Bay for over a decade, you learn pretty quickly that when you've got the right protection up front, you can play with confidence. That's what American Family Insurance has been doing for almost 100 years, protecting your home, auto, and dreams that you've been building for your family. So you can focus on what matters most. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
So Jesse was recording things off of his television yesterday. And
I'm going to tell you something. I know Kelly Call is no longer at be curious what his take would be as a great UW Badger alum and a donor on the Macintosh situation.
He was at the hockey game on Saturday.
I believe it.
Yeah.
CBS's camera coverage was the worst I've ever seen yesterday. And I've told you guys this just for me.
I thought you were going to ask me to ask Kelly to come on the show, and instead, do you want me to?
No, I could text Kelly.
Are you blaming Kelly for CBS's poor camera work on 18?
I don't know what the hell they were doing. They had all those cameras on whatever that club is in London or Ireland, which nobody cares. Like, you have 4 pipsqueaks drinking beers. That's great.
The Irish youth cheering on their guy, Rory.
I want to see where the ball lands. Like, he's hitting them. Like, where the hell is the ball? And they don't have a clue. And then they didn't even know if Rory's ball was in the – like, it was – CBS does a great job. Like, their thing with Rory before the Masters started was awesome. Like, their stuff, Jim Nance is great. The analyst, I don't know his name. He does a really good job.
Trevor Immelman.
But that was tough. Like, bring those cameras from London and put them on a bunker. Like, what are we doing here? That was brutal.
You're referring to the ball that he hits out of the wherever he was. He wasn't out of bounds, but they had to move the fans.
It was on the other fairway.
The trees.
I had a great day. So both of my kids decided to watch the back 9 with me, which was great. Normally,
that's fun.
And I was explaining to them every shot that I took when I was fortunate enough to go play there. And I don't know how impressed they were about that, but then when I was trying to explain, the camera work was just, it was bad.
So he hits that. Sydney had her team volleyball party, so the dads were watching some of this, and I was watching with them. So then he hits that ball out of that other fairway or whatever it is, and all of us had the same question you did. Where the hell did it go?
Yeah. And then they didn't know the other dude's ball either.
Nance.
No, they didn't even know whether Cam Young or Cam Johnson or whoever that was. They didn't even have a clue. I didn't like that he had his wrist taped. For whatever reason, I didn't like that. They don't know where his ball goes.
Cam
Young.
Young.
What the hell are you guys doing? This is the 18th hole. It's the 72nd hole at the Masters, man. This isn't the Muni
Hard to
playing
see.
at Odana Muni down there.
You go run a camera for a golf tournament. It's not easy. The
not my
AmFam Championship.
job.
Let's have you run a camera on 18 for Golf Channel.
I
when
want
they
you to
come
have
around.
a camera on the baseball and make sure that we're for the strikeout versus cancer game, and we'll see how that goes
won't be
before I
too
start
hard.
looking at.
Between hockey or golf, those have to be the 2 hardest to run a camera for, and golf's got to be immensely more difficult than hockey. You got to watch from a far distance where the ball's coming, and then adjust, and then be perfect. And
they have a deal where you can watch the ball come off the club face, and they do just put that deal on every shot. And you can see where the ball goes, and then if you got to replay it, great, it's fine. We don't need it live, but tough.
And that guy had his wrist taped, which we also didn't like. I'm curious your thoughts on the Masters. I'm curious your thoughts on the Bucks. We'll get to all that and more as we roll on. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Look around your office. Does it look like 1994 called and wants its lobby back?
Most brands just show up, often amongst outdated decor.
At Captivate Exhibits, ordinary space is the enemy. Beige walls, faded graphics, that motivational poster no one reads.
That's not culture, that's camouflage.
Captivate designs and build spaces that don't whisper, they speak. They spark conversations. People lean in.
Stop blending in and start captivating today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The Island Resort and Casino welcomes you to another unforgettable golf season at Sweetgrass and Sage Run. Beginning in July, stay and play guests can preview the brand new 9-hole Cedar course, inspired by the golden age of golf. At the island, your golf trip becomes a full resort experience with relaxing spa treatments and exceptional dining to thrilling casino action. Courses open May 1st. Plan your golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
1896, Horicon Bank first opened its doors. Wisconsin wasn't even 50 years old.
We've maintained our roots over the years and yet expanded.
We empower our people to invest in the community. We give them 40 hours of volunteer time.
We're doing it with a personal touch, with a desire to say yes to our customers.
You shouldn't have to work with a bank that sends their profits to New York City or Toronto. You can keep your money here and it benefits Wisconsin.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
According to American writer H.L. Mencken, a well-stocked bar can create over 17 billion different cocktails. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. I don't know if 17 billion is accurate or not, but I do know that Discount Liquor is the place to find everything you need to be well-stocked for any occasion. Discount Liquor is Wisconsin's home to over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,500 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines. Our unparalleled selection is rivaled only by our incredible savings and everyday low prices. And we know how to take care of our customers, no matter the occasion. In fact, Discount Liquor has won numerous national and local awards. Visit Discount Liquor at our Milwaukee or Waukesha locations. Family owned and operated since 1960.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
In Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow. Check out our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
So did Max and Eleanor enjoy the Masters?
Yeah, I think they got annoyed when I kept taking, because they, I obviously have watched the Masters for years and I have a very good understanding. 16, the par 3, you got to hit it to that slope and then it pulls it down. I know, yeah. So they were, using some fun terms, but it was a thoroughly enjoyable afternoon. It was raining out, so it was a beautiful day.
So were you happy with Rory repeating? Like, I don't know where you stand on Rory McIlroy. Are you a fan of his? You did not have him at Hard Rock Casino Rockford?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Rory's. He's a great player, but I had Gotterup and Knapp. There's some other ones that you take a little flyer. I'm sure Rory was probably, him and Scotty were probably heavy favorites. So, I don't know necessarily exactly how all of that shook itself out, but I was not upset. I would have liked to have seen Justin Rose fight and get in there and not kind of fade the way he did, because I think he has put himself in position year after year. But I like it when guys validate their greatness, and I think Rory did that. So, yeah, I was good with it.
So, Jesse, did you watch this as well, or were you busy watching the Inside the NBA crew and then recording it and posting it on social media?
That was a little bit later in the night. I watched a lot of good sports yesterday, including the Masters, which I'm not a golf watching guy. But I do watch the Masters if it's good in the final, the second 9 is what they like to call it. On Sunday, I get interested with that. And it was very compelling yesterday. Rory had the huge lead, blew it, then ended up back on top and was trying to fend off a bunch of guys that were trying to come for him on Sunday. Like, it was fun drama. It was exciting to watch. I think it helped that it was super gloomy and rainy and stormy outside in Madison, and so sitting down in the basement and watching that, the beautiful golf course on TV was fun. And I was flipping back and forth between that and the Brewers game, which did not go very well either. So between the two of them, it was a fun afternoon of watching sports, mostly.
Well, I'm curious about your Brewers viewing, and if anyone you were watching with, if you suggested that we need to start thinking about having a conversation about anything that's going on with them, given the outcome. But we'll talk about that after Tausch tells us again about his big webinar and competition. Beat Tausch with Annex Wealth Management.
Oh, tomorrow. Going to do the show from Annex Wealth Management, and then I'm hoping you guys will register events.annexwealth.com. Great prizes. You're going to throw me a bunch of quiz questions. If you beat me, you're going to be eligible to win some of those great prizes. Again, at events.annexwealth.com with, all the stuff that's going on, all the turbulence. Tax season is right here. You need to have some experts. I'm going to them. You go to the folks at Annex. They can handle all the questions on taxes, investments, financial stuff. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, business owner, you want to build your wealth, register now. Get in the ring with me. We're going to learn a bunch of fun stuff, and we're going to give away a bunch of great prizes. Again, head over to events.annexwealth.com to register. The choice is yours. Show up ready. Bring your best game. Because tomorrow, when that bell rings at noon, the questions are going to fly, and we're going to find out once and for all who knows their financial literacy. And I think I'm going to beat you. See if I'm right.
The Brewers with a bad series and now a potentially bad news about one of their most important players. That's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All the antics.
We had the same situation when I played with Holmgren.
You okay?
I almost broke my chair.
Yeah, you almost fell out of your chair there.
All the action.
Micah Parsons is healthy, and if Tucker Kraft is healthy, the Packers are in that Super Bowl. I think that they would have run through the NFC. I think they beat Seattle. I think that they are the NFC representative in that game.
The best of both worlds lives right here. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Summertime is when the largest number of homes hit the market,
which makes it the bottom of the ninth for sellers. Homes that show well, get priced right, move first.
Yeah! This is Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf and Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Sal Alioto. In a crowded summer market, smart pricing, preparation, and expert local strategies make all the difference.
Get started today with our white glove selling experience at wendorfteam.kw.com.
Tony Wendorf and Associates.
A real estate team driven by faith, gratitude, and results.
3 people,
3 different kinds of joint pain, one decision to do something about it. The solution? Not surgery. It was QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
I wanted to use my own body to hopefully regenerate and get rid of that pain. So it's been 3 months and my back is significantly better.
The pain in my knees was pretty severe, so I came here, and even after the first treatment, I noticed an incredible difference. If you have pain in any part of your body, this is the place to go.
I couldn't go to the gym anymore, and I couldn't play with my grandkids. That's why I made the decision to come here to QC Kinetics, and it was the best decision that I ever made for my own health. This works. Don't do surgery.
Finally, relief for 3 real patients. Lives transformed through QC Kinetics non-surgical treatments. Your story could be next. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Michelob Ultra is brewed here. So is the grit that takes U.S. soccer players to the world's biggest stage. The excitement that fills a stadium before a single ball is kicked. The feeling when we rally together behind one team. From the pitch to the pour, Superior is brewed here. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the U.S. men's national soccer team. Enjoy responsibly. 2026 Anheuser-Busch, Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spiritware is vital. That's why Burkhardt Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spiritware from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spiritware and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhardt.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
2026 Brewers Group tickets are on sale now, and planning your next event at American Family Field has never been easier. Whether it's a company outing, family reunion, or night out with friends, bring your group of 15 or more to the ballpark and enjoy up to 25% off single game tickets with no service fees. All Brewers home games are available now. Start planning today, and a Brewers Group ticket rep will handle the rest. But hurry, tickets are moving fast. Plan your 2026 outing at brewers.com/groups.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
So Pablo's birthday is still a month away. So hopefully nothing occurs that leads to Jesse to want to have any sort of conversations about anybody. But not a great series against the Nationals and Christian Yelich. What was Murph's line? I think we're going to get some bad news on Yelly or something to that effect, right,
bad
Jesse?
news. They're expecting bad news on Christian Yelich's
What's the Brewers' record now?
8-6.
Okay.
They've lost 5 in a row.
So it's not, or they're not panicking yet, but obviously
They didn't lose the Athletics, at least.
Obviously, well, the Nationals aren't. They're not.
Yeah, they're scrappy this year.
Scrappy group.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Scrap Iron.
Oh, yeah.
2 managers in a week. Davey Lopes and Phil Garner passing away.
So the concern level, Jesse, for you as a Brewers fan, with a 5-game losing streak and Christian Yelich headed toward the IL is what?
The Yelich thing is very significant because if that's a hamstring injury and they say they're expecting bad news, I think we all can see the forecast for what that could potentially mean for him and how long he could be out for this season. With Jackson Churio already out, with Andrew Vaughn already out, the offense started strong, but we've seen, especially this weekend, that it had some trouble putting some runs on the board and running their offense the way it needs to be run, which is getting guys on base and stealing bases and moving them over and all that good stuff. They need some bats back. Churio should be back pretty soon. If Yelich is gone for a long time, even more than what he means for the offense, I think he is the veteran. He and Woodruff are the veteran emotional leaders in that clubhouse. And so while he may still be around the team all year, we saw in, 2019, how impactful that was when he went out in the final month of the year when the Brewers were riding high, coming off of that Game 7 NLCS appearance the year before, and they lost in the wild card round to the Nationals, who went on to win the World Series. It would suck to not have Christian Yelich on the field for the majority of the rest of the season, and it would suck even more for him to not be available to be one of the leaders in that clubhouse, helping what's still a pretty young group of guys along throughout the course of the year when vibes were so good coming into the season and out of the gates.
Okay, first a quick correction. The Brewers' record is 8-7.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah, so less.
They lost 5 in a row.
And they started 8-2. Secondly, Tausch, I was not aware of this until Jesse informed us, but apparently now you can send polls in text messages.
Yeah, I've been thinking about unsubscribing to some stuff anyway, so this will help make that decision
You're going to leave our Wildy and Tausch Village group because of the polling?
Probably. It's trending. If I was polling it, it would be yes, probably at 85%.
Should we ask in the text group, should Tausch leave the group text if we continue to throw polls out for everyone?
So, Josh DiMaggio, is it time to have a conversation about Pat Murphy? Our poll question in what is the point of this? Why do we need this? How big does the group have to be for this to be statistically significant? Like, it's one thing to send out a poll on social media, right? Or in the YouTube comments. I don't need polls in our little group text.
I think it's very helpful.
And how did you even discover this, Jesse?
Well, one of our friends in a different group text, we were talking about what we wanted to do on Saturday evening after the Badger hockey game. And I said I would be interested in either going to a driving range or going bowling. And so they said, what would you rather do? And the poll popped. I'm like, whoa. How did that happen? And so I sent it to you guys because I didn't know it was a thing, and I wanted to know if you knew. And then the polls are I love sending polls. It's great for if you have a bachelor or bachelorette party group text. What should we do? What weekend works well for everybody? If you got a group of friends, hey, where should we go to dinner tonight? Here. Everybody gets to vote. There's a lot of practical purposes for having a poll in a group text. Yeah.
Well, Tausch, we're going to miss you in our text chain.
It's been a good run. It's been a good run.
So I'm going to vote no. It's not time to start having a conversation about Pat Murphy because this is not Pat Murphy's fault. And I still don't think it's time to panic as a Brewers fan. I think it's time to say that those Wisco uniforms stink. They wore them all weekend long.
When you lose a bunch, those things tend to get wiped.
They're 0-3. Nobody likes them anyway. No one says Wisco when they're referring to the state of Wisconsin. If you're from the state of Wisconsin, it's one of the only marketing missteps the Brewers have had over the last decade plus.
Well, are they selling stuff? Because you can sit here and say you don't like it. If they're selling a bunch of merch, it's not a misstep.
I wasn't at a game over the weekend. I think the food is going over well. The drinks and the food that they rolled out in conjunction with it, with like the bobber drink and whatnot, that seems to be performing well. I don't know. I didn't see any fans in the stands wearing all the jerseys from what I saw on TV.
Because they first started going on sale.
Yeah, but I mean, when they said that grill uniform that was the alternate jersey for people were buying that hat instantly. They were like sold out at the team store the first day they had this one.
So you think this is a bust?
It's a bust. Yeah, they should. I want to see those uniforms. I understand they have an obligation to whatever it is, Nike or whoever that does the collaboration with all the teams. Wear those as minimal as possible for the remainder of the season, please. Those uniforms are atrocious.
What were was that during your playing days, Tausch, where you guys wore like a special uniform? Gosh, who was it against? Colorado, maybe? There was a uniform combination, and the Badgers got blown out wearing them, and we never saw them again.
It's typically what happens when you try to mix things up, and obviously if you sell a bunch and people are excited about it, that's great. But there's enough things to worry about that if you're changing things up and it doesn't work, it gets scrapped quick.
Well, if we were to issue a poll in our text chain before Tausch leaves it on who he would call if you've been injured in an accident, that would be unanimous. It would be Grubel offices. One call, that's all. No matter how many times you vote in our poll, one call, that's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. I saw an ad over the weekend where David talks about that phrase and how it came about and how now everyone says it to him whenever they see him at festivals or sporting events. It is their signature line, but it's also true. That's all it takes is one call to get the ball rolling if you have been injured in an accident and you need legal representation. So make it, or go to the website, gruber-law.com. The 11 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and you can take action locally. Join La Causa on April 13th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Blue Tender, a special fundraising event at Blue at the Pfister, supporting La Causa's Crisis Nursery, southeastern Wisconsin's only shelter providing emergency care for children in crisis. Enjoy a night out while giving back, with 100% of tips and 10% of bar sales donated, and all proceeds matched. Make your impact go twice as far. Visit lacausa.org for details.
Vortex Golf makes rangefinders for serious golfers who need an accurate number every time. With 3 options, the Blade, Blade Slope, and Anarch, there's a Vortex rangefinder that fits your game. Crystal clear optics and features like image stabilization keep you steady in big moments. Plus, every Vortex Golf product is backed by a no-questions-asked lifetime warranty. If you're looking for an accurate number every time, Vortex Golf belongs on your bag. Grab yours and everything you need for golf season in Wisconsin at Shields.com.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. Many lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for your free consultation. 262-235-3980. 262-235-3980 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary. Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 11 o'clock hour will be about. What a weird news-filled weekend after we went off the air. I still, I watched the entirety of the Badgers hockey game. We haven't even talked about bats. Talked about Dontayvion Wicks. We talked about the Masters. We talked about Chris McIntosh's departure yesterday. We haven't even gotten to Doc Rivers is out. Not that we were not expecting that. But then Jesse, did you say you went viral with this post? Is that an accurate depiction of how you described this?
I am back to being viral with this one from last night. Yes,
380 likes is viral?
Well, it's more about the views. There's like 70-something thousand views last I saw.
Yeah, but you had that one video, it had 1 million views, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we're filling Lambeau Field Plus with views, I would call that viral.
Tausch, do you agree that Jesse went viral?
I haven't really studied the virality of virality, so I don't know.
188,000 views. 188,000 views. views. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral.
I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million views to be viral. I feel like you have to be 1 million
I'm not retweeting it to help.
Appreciate that. Did you watch it at least?
I did not know. Can you legally play it on the radio program?
I can, yes. I don't know how it's going to sound. So here's the deal.
It's going to sound like the NFC coaches breakfast.
When Tausch and I were driving back from Hard Rock Casino Rockford at our remote last week, we were talking a little bit about Inside the NBA. And I said, I haven't really seen too much of Inside the NBA this year since it moved over to ESPN. Hasn't been on consistently like it had always been on Thursday nights. Right. Well, it was on Sunday night after the regular season finale. The playoff bracket's set. And it was a good opportunity. Like, there was nothing else really on at the time. I was like, sweet, I'm getting some stuff ready for the show. I'll throw Inside the NBA on. And they were bringing it last night. Chuck and Shaq and Ernie. They had the viral Pacers couple. Did you see the viral Pacers couple from last week? They were in a fight on the sidelines at a Pacers game.
Okay, can you stop using the word viral?
Well, they were viral more than I was, but I'm working my way toward it. Oh, a lot more than I did, but I'm working my way toward it. Anyway, Charles Barkley.
Can we turn Tausch's reaction into a GIF?
Charles Barkley went on a little bit of a rant about the Milwaukee Bucks. And anytime Charles Barkley says, can I just say something? Whenever he proceeds, can I just say something? That everyone, I'm folding laundry. I stop and whoa, what's he got to say? And coming out of the Bucks highlights, I knew it was going to be something good. And here is what he said, along with some of Shaq's reaction with it. To what's the state of the Milwaukee Bucks. This is from Inside the NBA last night, and I couldn't find it online, so I literally recorded this off of my television in my basement at like 11 o'clock at night, so I had the volume kind of quiet, so I don't know how this is going to play, but here we go. Here goes nothing.
I want to say this. The Milwaukee Bucks, first of all, Doc, you've had a hell of a career. You want to keep coaching, keep coaching. But let me tell you something. They got some punks in that damn Milwaukee locker room. Why do they have punks? When you leak what happens in team meetings, you're a punk. Or you know the locker room is sacred. You've seen fights. You've seen players that come fight and coaches fight, correct? Okay, I'm seeing where you're going, though. That should never get to the press.
But it always does.
And let me tell you, when's the last time it happened on a good team?
Good teams don't fight.
That's not true.
Good teams don't fight.
Good teams do fight.
Because we got one leader that lay that damn fist down. Ain't no fighting in my life. That's what I'm talking about. No fighting. What about say go?
Forever?
Sorry about that, Ernie.
That was an emphatic point. Well made. And I understand what you're saying, Shaq. But I just think when you're on a team, there's disagreements all the time. Players and coaches get into it all the time because it's an emotional game, a lot of things. But for the media and to know exactly what happens in meetings, that's just a punk-ass move, in my opinion. Okay.
There he is, Charles Barkley on Inside
Is that not
the
on,
NBA.
like, YouTube somewhere? You could pull up a YouTube clip. Like, we had to use your baby phone on a baby phone.
I mean, it's a big TV that I recorded it off of. It's like a 65-incher we got down in the basement now. So, yeah, I had to, Jason, we have lost your volume.
You had the volume down because you didn't want to wake up Becca?
Yeah, she had gone to bed hours before that. So, I'm up, being productive in the evening. She's
being productive.
Going to bed early on a Sunday night.
Going viral.
Mailing it in, but, here we go. So, and then I got to go viral. And calling them punks for leaking that stuff to Shams last week. That's video quality aside, it was a compelling conversation. I thought Shaq's rebuttal was interesting too.
I couldn't hear Shaq's rebuttal. What exactly did he say?
Oh my God. Apparently, the YouTube viewers are also saying they were having trouble hearing the clip on YouTube.
Yeah, it was really hard to hear. It was like they were in a well or something.
I recorded it off of my TV. What did you want me to do?
There's no volume control on your television?
You can't go. I don't know how people go back and they record the actual digital video and then use it. You can't do that with Inside when it's on ESPN stuff. So I don't know how to do that.
You could, but you know how to push the volume up button on your remote for your television.
So Chuck says the Bucks are punks because they leaked the information to the media about Giannis and Doc and all the stuff that was in the Shams article that we talked about last week. Shaq's rebuttal is good teams, that doesn't happen. good teams don't do that because there's a
He
leader.
and Kobe were at each other's throats at times when they were winning titles.
But he says that in a locker room, there's fighting all the time, but somebody, a leader of the team, steps up and says, we can fight in the locker. And Tausch, you can talk to this as well
Thanks for giving me
better
the
than
allowance to
anybody
talk.
here. You can fight in the
Thank you
locker
so
room,
much.
but you don't let it get to the media.
Is that how it works?
Would you tell us, please?
No, you tell me, because it's...
I'm just reiterating what Shaq said
Here's
because
the
no
deal,
one could
man.
hear it, apparently.
When you lose, the old saying goes, and my old buddy Terry Strong would always say this, winning has 1,000 fathers and losing is an orphan. That's what this is. When you can't win and your team stinks, everybody wants to make sure everybody else thinks it's somebody else's fault. And you got all these media folks sitting around, and they're just like Templeton and Charlotte's Web. They're just looking for any type of apple peel and scraps that they can get a hold of and get virality for. And that's what this is. The Bucks sucked. They stunk all year. It was a drama-infested nightmare of a year. And when you do all that, I don't care, punks, whatever you want to call it, this is the way it is. And I'm sure if you look at some of the other teams that stunk, the way this program went with Giannis and all the drama that had, it just is a formula for a disaster. There's always things that come up inside a locker room. Yes, that is 100% true. Good teams that win keep it in the locker room. But there's always unverified reports and anonymous sources. You figure it out and you get rid of them. Like you would be scared blankless on a really good team with strong leadership of having an unidentified source that's doing it. And if that isn't the case and it's free flow, it's a disaster. And that's what this season was, from top to bottom. And if you want to get after Giannis's leadership on that, you can get after Doc Rivers' leadership on it. How Barkley stated it, you can call it whatever you want. The bottom line is this was just a mismanaged operation from the jump. And the great teams figure out how to control and kind of work through it. And the losing teams, this is what you see. Drama's fun for fans. There's a reason great coaches and great teams try to limit the distraction, because it's hard enough to win without it. And this season was a distraction on top of a distraction. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. And what did you expect to have happen? You have a coach. There's a guy that got cut because he was too intrigued by his stats, and then that's when the coach gets up and tells him their stats and all this other. And Shams is just wolfing it down like Templeton at the junkyard at Charlotte's Web.
Good analogy. What Charlotte's Web character then is Doc Rivers? Because Doc Rivers was a dead man walking in this job for a while, right? I mean, the worst kept secret was that he was going to be out. They apparently are paying him for next.
Who hired Doc Rivers?
I'm
not going to blame. By the way, I ain't blaming Doc Rivers for anything. He took a bunch of money. He had a cushy job. He didn't want to coach. I think he felt obligated, and we talked about this on Friday. Whoever pulled the strings, and I don't know the answer to this. I have a real good idea who it is, but I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to put it out there. When you force and do that, I hope there's lessons learned. I said this, and I'll say it again. When someone is reluctant, and the only time it worked was with Lou Brown, when he was selling those white wall tires. And let me get back to you about that. All right. When you're not all in and someone is excited to lead your team, these jobs are hard to come by. I don't care how great of a coach they are. If they're not excited about it, don't hire them.
Right?
There was never any excitement about it. Matter of fact, it dragged out, and now you're going to pay him to not do anything? That's coaching. But I would not have fired him. I'd make him quit. He don't want to be around next year. And I don't know how that all shakes out, but is he going to do some front office stuff? I don't know if we want even that. This thing needs a scrub down. This thing needs the reboot. And I know there's a lot of Wisconsin fans that are saying, well, the athletic department needs it. I don't feel that same way, but if you want to feel it, great, go ahead. This group and how this played out, I don't know who Doc Rivers is on this in the Charlotte's Web deal. I know this. He ain't that magical spider, and he certainly ain't the hog.
So they part ways.
The reporters are definitely Templeton, though. You can agree with that.
I do not
I could just see Wildy when the Packers were having a crappy year, and he's just sitting outside there just waiting for apple scraps to come out. And, oh, boy, this is juicy for the State Journal. Oh, God, Channel 3000. I can't wait to get this posted.
Gotta say, there have not been a lot of those seasons, however, during my time.
It sounds like there was a bunch there, but nobody picked up the scraps this year is what it sounds like.
Well, for sure. And Matt LaFleur offered them up then at breakfast. So on top of this, Giannis then speaking after the game shares some of his thoughts on where things stand and how he's feeling and what he thinks of the team that he's on, at least at the moment. I will share some of those things from this Associated Press story after I tell you again about Potawatomi Casino Hotel, where you don't have to hop on a plane or board a cruise ship to feel like you've escaped. All you got to do is go down to Milwaukee and Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Start with the stay, the biggest hotel rooms in all of Milwaukee. Nearly 500 beautifully designed rooms and luxury suites. It's perfect for a weekend reset, a date night, or celebrating something big, and you're just steps away from everything that's happening inside. And if you're hungry, so many options. Premium steaks at the Dream Dance Steakhouse. Pizza, burritos, and quick bites at the Marketplace. Rockin' Brews has that high-energy vibe, and my favorite, the salmon. Canal Street Cafe, Ruyi Asian Kitchen, and Cream City Coffee Company. They're all there, and they all have drink specials and food specials going on all the time. And if you're planning a wedding, a birthday, or an anniversary, their event spaces are built to make it unforgettable. Sophisticated relaxation, incredible flavor, a full night out all in one place. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. More Wildy and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wildy and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All day, every day, the Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
We're not trying to get from A to B. We're trying to get from A to SB, as in the Super Bowl.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Need a quick, delicious way to fuel your day? Try one of our new protein power plays from Cousin Subs. Power Ham, Power Turkey, Power Club, Power Tuna. 4 craveable 5-inch subs on freshly baked Italian bread. Packed with protein, up to 33 grams. All for just $7.99 for a limited time. It's the flavor you love with the fuel you need. Grab a protein power play in store, online, or on the Cousin Subs app today. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
You've always been competitive at work, in the gym, even with your kids, but lately you feel off. Workouts take longer to recover from. Your drive just isn't there. You know, it might not be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Mentality, we'll get to the bottom of what's really going on and build a personalized plan using testosterone replacement and peptide therapies to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. Get back the energy to being dad again. Book your appointment with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Again, that's lowtusa.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and if you know me, you know I love Wisconsin. That's why I'm a UW Credit Union member. Their team's been all about Wisconsin since 1931, and they love making banking easy for members. Whether it's with their convenient mobile app or with the great perks like early payday to get you paid sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
How are things at Kessler's Greenfield, Kelly?
Fantastic. I heard you have an idea for springtime.
I love spring.
I have a big collection of new life to show you.
New life is a spring thing.
Show us. I call it crosses and clovers.
These are amazing.
Well done, Kelly.
These are stunningly unique.
Kelly, the surface of this 4-leaf clover is fantastic. What's it made of?
Sarah, the surface of that lucky 4-leaf clover is made of crushed black diamonds.
Wow. I'm buying this one. How much?
$185. In yellow gold vermeil, it's just $270. This cross, $90.
And these initials pendants?
These are $60.
Clovers, crosses, and personalized pendants.
And a leprechaun that says they're magically delicious.
Sarah, that's a breakfast cereal.
Kelly, you've done well.
Extremely well.
Extremely very well. Happy springtime, everyone.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
You know, I mean, your home is about as personal as it gets, right?
We want to build a relationship with homeowners, not only educating them, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us.
Yeah, the interview goes both ways. Mm-hmm. Getting to know people while also serving them. It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
Besides that, it's just the right thing to do. See how Big Fish Contracting is renovating homes and redeeming an industry at bigfishcontracting.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Disrespectful is in a headline, it's probably not a good thing. Giannis Antetokounmpo speaking out in Philadelphia after the Bucks' season-ending loss to the Sixers, discussing the fact that he did not play again after landing awkwardly after a dunk on March 15th. Having claimed he was healthy and wanted to play, and the Bucks continued to rule him out, calling it a left knee hyperextension and bone bruise. Quote, being cleared to play, I don't understand. I've never in my life denied participation in practice. Whoever came up with that is disrespectful towards what I've done for this team and the way I carry myself. I did what I was supposed to do. I wasn't able to come on the court now. Who has that say? It comes from above. I thought I had control. Okay, if I'm healthy, I'm going to play. This just shows me that it's not just me. Players in general don't have no control. I didn't feel like I had control. It was draining for me. If it was draining for me, it definitely was draining for the organization. It's just a matter of when, not if, at this point. Right? With this?
When, if, what?
He's not going to be a Buck.
I don't know. I'm going to be curious because then he also went on to say, well, my wife controls and runs everything, so, the Bucks haven't offered me the max extension. Well, they can't offer you the max extension
Correct.
Until whenever,
October.
1. Is there going to be a team that is going to give a bunch of draft picks and pay him a max extension? I don't think probably as many as we think. I mean, I'm certain there's teams that want Giannis.
Sure.
But at what price? And, Giannis, I think there's no doubt, great, his attitude, up until this year and how everything played out. This was, as I said, man, it's just a disastrous year.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis went from being 100% beloved by everybody, and I think most of us still feel that way, but this has been, as he just put it, draining, and people are kind of over it. And I think the Bucks with this crap season that they just put together with 30 and 52. I know how much better it would have been if he was healthy all year. I have no idea.
Not like
would they have made
better.
the playoffs? They maybe would have made a play-in. Mm-hmm. And you have to start thinking what's best for your franchise next, because this, Giannis realizes the pull that he has. And to sit and say you don't have any power or anything else, come on, man. Like, you've had all the power. And you're going to have an opportunity. Like, at this point, are the Bucks going to offer that extension? I would think they will. And do they want him to actually sign it? Or do they want to go through and rebuild? I don't know the answer to any of those questions.
You're right.
And that sounds crazy to say even 3 months ago.
Right.
But as we're sitting here right now, nobody wants to go through this again. Giannis isn't getting younger. Like, hopefully he gets healthier and he stays healthy, but the Bucks are not in a good spot. And I think moving forward, I think it'd be in everybody's best interest to find a way and get a slew of picks, hopefully find a young up-and-coming star to build around with some of these young players that Doc was raving about. And you go from there, because what's going to happen if you bring Giannis back and this is the same team? Doc said this yesterday. This team's not good enough to win with Giannis. So he's kind of telling you what it is. But do you really want your guy to walk out of here without giving him that opportunity to sign? I don't know the answer to that, but I know the Bucks are in a really bad spot, and I'm not sure how you find your way out of this. I don't know what the right answer is.
We're the furthest away we've been, Antetokounmpo said. I didn't think we were going to be in this position last year, so I don't know what position we'll be in next year. Asked about signing the Supermax contract. That's too far away. It's something I have to sit down with my family and see what's best for me, what's best for my family. Money doesn't mean nothing to me. Zero. Absolutely zero. What means something to me, it's winning.
Yeah, but he also went on to say that money does matter.
Yes.
So he does, almost, I don't know if he contradicts himself.
That's exactly
there is an immaturity to Giannis. Like, there just is. And he has been everything. I mean, you can't imagine. I think everybody just loved what he's been able to do with his time in Milwaukee is never going to be forgotten. It's loved. It's unbelievable what he brought to the city, to the state, to everybody that wants the Bucks to be good. It's been phenomenal. And the last couple of years, it just hasn't been. And that's okay. I think as we're starting to get older, we understand that things have shelf lives. Mm-hmm. Things sometimes need to be different. And this is one of those cases where things need to be different. I don't think that you can remedy any of this by having Giannis stick around. I don't know what you're going to get with that. So I'm not sure how this all ends up shaking out, but I would, if I had to wager at the Hard Rock Casino Rockford, I would say that Giannis will be traded right before the draft.
So do you think you've said before, and I agreed with you at the time, but this is starting to get a little. Your line about him being the immaturity is right on point, but it's starting to get more acrimonious, right? And he's kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth.
He's frustrated. I think the Bucks are frustrated. Acrimonious, yeah, I think maybe a little bit. I think Giannis is just really frustrated that he's in this spot and with the unknown, and I still think he wants to, finish his time and be beloved. And my point to him would be, Giannis, don't worry about it, man. You're going to be beloved. Like, you're actually, by continuing on this path, you're taking away. So let's just be adults here and say, man, it's time. We all see it. You've built it up. This isn't going to be some shock, some surprise. You don't have to kind of go through. You can speak your mind and do it and just say, you know what, man, I think it's probably best for everybody involved. But the Bucks can't just say, well, we're only going to be able to send Giannis to New York. No, that's not how this is going to play. Because the Bucks, if the Bucks don't get as much as they possibly can. This is already going to be a monster rebuild, like monstrous. Like we are at the point now where with all the draft picks that are gone, this isn't just buying some land and then getting plans. We're going to need to clean out all the soil. Like there's stuff we better test for everything because it's contaminated. And we are in contamination country. And we got to get all that cleaned out. And the last thing you want to do is just that's where we're at. And I don't know if there's a spot that's in a tougher rebuild than where we are. If you have one, I'm all ears to hear about it.
But you do not think that
Browns?
This is.
I'm talking NBA.
Oh, okay. Just both Haslam organizations happen to be in probably the worst scenarios for potential rebuilds.
You don't say. You do not think that his beloved O-meter, though, it may drop in the short term, but long term it will still remain extremely high.
Unless he does something completely crazy, he is one of the Mount Rushmore athletes in the state of Wisconsin's history of sports. And that ain't going anywhere. Just because we went 30-52 and we've had drama this year, wipe it, move on. Like that is a nothing burger in the grand scheme of what he's meant. So, no.
Yeah, I tend to agree. But it's going to be, I do think there's going to be a little bit like with Favre and I don't know if
No, I would say it's nothing like Favre and or Rodgers. This is such a different, like, in Jesse's Tierden world, I don't even think they're nuzzled. Like, it's so far different. It's not even close.
So even if Giannis leaves under acrimonious circumstances,
what does that
goes
mean?
somewhere else and wins a title.
Like, unless he does something criminal, no. Like, what would that look like to you?
If he is proven to have been, less than forthcoming about how he really felt in a sham story, or someone else, there's reporting about how he was behaving behind the scenes or whatever it might be. If he's, let's say, exposed as something that we didn't think he was, and then he goes.
What is the word you're saying? You saying fraud?
Yeah, phony, probably phony.
Okay.
And again, I don't know if he is or isn't. I don't know him at all. I'm just saying if the image that we have embraced for so long, myself included, turns out to be a facade, and then he goes and wins a title somewhere else, and the Bucks languish in mediocrity or worse for years to come, it sure helped the Packers and their fan base get over Brett Favre.
Yeah, that's why I just don't
Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's why I just don't think there's any equivalency. If Giannis goes to New York and wins a championship for New York, I'm not going to remotely be upset about it. Had Rodgers went to Minnesota or Favre, even if Favre won in New York, I wouldn't have been mad about it.
Right.
Now, there's other stuff with Favre, there is other stuff with Rodgers, but I just think Giannis's love level is so high and untouchable that even with that, I don't envision anybody. Like, if he forces his way out and forces himself to go to New York and we end up getting Karl Anthony Towns and 2 second-round picks, I'll be bummed. And we shouldn't do that. But if he goes and wins a championship in Madison Square Garden, I am not going to remotely be irritated with him like I would have had Favre won and said it was the greatest team he ever part of with beating New Orleans and winning.
Mm-hmm.
That would have stung. This, I'm going to be rooting for Giannis to go win a championship somewhere else.
Okay. That's an interesting question.
It's basically muddy until it's over here, and then once it's over, I think we'll all be fine on the other end of it.
No doubt.
Rooting for him to win a championship somewhere else.
Giannis doing what he did here is so unbelievable. Would we have loved more? Yes. But his accomplishments here, very similar to what Ron Wolf and Bob Harlan were able to do. And both of those guys, had Ron Wolf left and went and been the GM for the Seahawks, I wouldn't have had a problem because he did what he did. That's how I feel about Giannis.
Well, like Holmgren going to the Seahawks. So, Jesse, put a poll in our chat. Will you be rooting for Giannis to win an NBA title somewhere else once he leaves? You can put that on the Wildy and Tausch Twitter feed as well if you'd like.
I can put it on YouTube. I can put it in our text.
You're big on polling.
I can put it everywhere.
You're like the Pew Research Foundation. All right, we need to get to Whoa Nelly, and I need to tell you about Associated Bank and all the perks that come with their new Brewers checking. I mean, the list is unbelievable how many great things that come with your Brewers checking from Associated Bank. 20% off at the Brewers team store when you show your Brewers card. Up to 50% off home game tickets exclusively for Brewers checking account customers. Express entry through the Associated Bank entrance of American Family Field. Pre-sale access to designated concerts and non-baseball events at AmFam Field. Savings on iconic Brewers Community Foundation 5K and 10K famous racing sausages run-walk entries at AmFam Field. A $25 discount on the Brewers Baseball Academy and registering for that. And a one-of-a-kind Brewers Debit MasterCard that you can use at ATMs and millions of merchants worldwide. After that list, what are you waiting for? Go to AssociatedBank.com/Brewers to find out more. More Wildy and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wildy and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, Tom, I just really can't get my kids off their phones lately. What's your secret, man?
I told you last time, go to PrecisionSportsOnline.com and buy a hoop. And while you're there, include their court line painting. You'll thank me later. PrecisionSportsOnline.com. That's PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Beautiful day for Brewers baseball. Brats in one hand, your Brewers checking card from Associated Bank is in the other. And with a tap, it's 20% off gear at the Brewers team store. An express entry so you can tailgate longer. And up to 50% off home game tickets. All that power, all for the crew. Only with Brewers checking from Associated Bank. Join the crew at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
The smartest way to spend your money is not to. Straight Talk offers free 5G phones for new and existing customers on Verizon's 5G network. So the refund money I don't spend on that free phone is the refund money I get to keep for my family. Smart.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
What is it, boy? Someone need help? Someone in trouble?
Oh, okay. So you just want me to get Progressive Auto Insurance because their collision coverage covers up to $1,000 in vet bills if you're injured in an accident? That's it? Okay. Calm down. Let's not resort to name calling.
Progressive's collision coverage helps pay for care for your pet when they're in the car during an accident.
No, you're right. Sorry. I shouldn't have said calm down.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage included with purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
An epic Brewers Pirates series is coming April 24th through the 26th. Kick it off with Star Wars Night on Friday the 24th. And check out a post-game laser show presented by ESPN Milwaukee. Then on Saturday the 25th, get a Brewers Windbreaker giveaway courtesy of Courts. Wrap up the series with Family Sunday fun and kids cheer free. Plus, the first 5,000 kids take home an Abner Uribe poster. Grab a seat at Brewers.com.
When you work smart, incredible things can happen. By joining Smart 18, the union for Wisconsin sheet metal workers, you'll open the door to a brighter future. You'll learn and earn more. Enjoy awesome benefits across the board. Build a great career and feel empowered and supported every step of the way. The smartest career decision you'll ever make starts with Smart 18. Find out more today at smart18info.com.
Legacy? Yingling, 197 years family owned. That's elite. But legends evolve. Meet Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beers. Just 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and it actually tastes like beer. Crisp, clean, goes the distance. No regret in a can here. Your beer should keep up with you. Flight's putting up MVP numbers in the light beer game. The other guys on the bench. Wisconsin, level up. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Before we get to Wonelli, Jesse, did you forget something on today's show?
I might have got caught up in all the news. I mean,
it's 11:40.
Essentially, the entire show was a sports weekend recap, if you really think about it. But
justifying.
I did forget to do trivia.
So dare I say, time now for trivia presented by Vortex Golf, Iron Jock, and Cousin Subs?
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is presented by Iron Jock. No stank, just performance. And proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. By Cousin Subs. Try the new Protein Power Plays. For subs loaded with protein and made with fresh ingredients you love. All for just $7.99. And by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
We welcome in our contestant. Oh, wait, we don't have one. We read the questions, but oh, wait, we don't have any.
Whoops.
Double trivia next week, or sometime later this week. I'm sure we'll probably have double trivia next week as well. Time now for Wonelli.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Wonelli
on Wilde and Tausch.
Well, it's gonna bring up the men's hockey game. Wisconsin falling in the national championship 2-1 to the Denver Pioneers.
Pios!
Boston Buckburger with the go-ahead goal for the Pioneers with about 6 minutes left to ultimately
Hauser didn't have a stick!
Denver the victory. Yeah, it was tough. Wisconsin up 1-0 in the first period, had the lead into the third. They outplayed Denver for 2 of the 3 periods, but third period, Denver put it on, and that was the difference. I think it's better framed in this text that I got during today's show from John in Evanston, Illinois. Is today the 25-year low point in Wisconsin sports? Bucks, Doc steps down. Giannis probably done. We stink. Badgers, tons of uncertainty of major sports. Max steps down. Badgers hockey, devastating loss in the Frozen Four. Brewers lost 5 in a row. Didn't mention Yelich is dealing with a hamstring injury. Packers, no hype, mostly negative thoughts right now. John in Evanston, Illinois on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Listens more.
What a ray of sunshine that is.
So you're talking, John is talking about basically from 2000 to now, not like the 1970s and 80s.
Correct. He said the 25-year, we'll call it the 26-year low point.
I understand where he's coming from on that. There's obviously some tough stuff happened over the weekend, but no, I mean, I'd have to think longer and harder about this. The fact that you're playing in a national championship is a hell of a deal. even though you didn't get it done and didn't win. That's frustrating. From the Milwaukee Bucks standpoint, no doubt. 100% accurate. This is worse than the Todd Day, Jason Mayberry, Barney Fife, everybody else that was in that mid-early 2000s, whenever
Barney Fife,
whatever structure that was.
Mayberry.
05, 06, so like pre-Giannis, like that was tough.
Michael Redd, is that what you're looking for there?
No, I was right when I said Mayberry and Jason Day, and then. But from a Badger standpoint, let's slow our roll a little bit. Obviously, the football program is not where it needs to be. We all know that. The Packers, no. I'm not even remotely in the negative mindset on that. Is there not as much hype? That's probably fair. But I don't know if that's... We had more drama than you could ever imagine, really, from about 2016 till... When did Rodgers leave? And
2022.
I would say the drama meter was full from 16 to 24. So I'm all right with the non-having drama. We're a good football team, and we're going to be right there. Whether or not we can win in the postseason, I don't know. So, no, I will have to. But at least this is very thought-provoking from John.
So was the Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Barney Fife era, was that like that was the 90s, right? Like we had the Ray Allen Big Dog era. They went to the 2001 Eastern Conference Finals, right? And then they traded Ray, got Desmond Mason. There was that year that they added Anthony Mason. Yeah.
A couple of Masons.
And their shooting was Masons because there was a lot of bricks.
Nice.
They were hovering around 500 in the years after the initial years after they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. The worst it got was 26 and 56. That was a tough year, 07, 08. And then they had not lost this many games since then. Until that, there was that 15 and 67 year back in 2014.
That was the start of the Giannis run.
That was right, exactly. So I think we're probably a little palmy on that, but the Brewers are still. We're not going to do what happened at Pablo's birthday. Yes, 5 in a row is bad. Yelich's situation is bad, but it is concerning. I will acknowledge that.
I haven't polled this in our group text, but between what Jim Rutledge said with us last night on our breaking news special, reacting to the Chris McIntosh news, between what Josh DiMaggio just said in our Wildy and Tausch group text, and I'm sure it will be said and already has been said on several of our other shows, I think this weekend was actually a win in a lot of fans' minds around the state.
In what regard? Because Doc Rivers and McIntosh?
Moving on from Doc and putting a close on a terrible season for the Bucks and hopefully beginning a new chapter now with the conclusion of this season. And then McIntosh moving on means that the Wisconsin athletic program theoretically can bring in somebody else that can help propel them to new heights. I think a lot of fans around the state of Wisconsin view this weekend as a win,
a cleanse,
and as a point of optimism for two teams that did not have optimistic seasons to kind of begin anew.
Or the future's bright for both? Because that's what you guys are saying when you say that.
I'm not saying that.
What are you saying?
I don't know if you can sit here today and say the future is bright for either of those programs. I think
then why are you optimistic?
Badger football, I think you could make an argument that you could see the future being bright.
All right, Jason, what did you say then? I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, I don't think that this is. I don't think this should be met with optimism. When things go bad, I understand that you're hoping that things are going to get better. But there are no guarantees of that, right? Like, we could be headed toward even worse times with the Bucks, first of all. Like,
I don't think you'd have a worse season than this one. Like, I'd rather win 15 games and not have all this foolishness than go the way we did. I don't think it could be worse than this year.
So if they go 15 and 67 next year,
but there's young players
it's better
and you're getting
than
some
this?
picks back. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
This was supposed to be a championship team. They stretched old boy and brought in what's his face from
Miles
Indiana.
Turner.
They brought in Miles Turner because the East was down. A bunch of guys were injured, and with Giannis and Miles Turner, they thought they could be near the top of the conference.
Let me be crystal clear. You can't have a more disastrous season than what the Bucks just had.
Well, I'm not also ready
I'm
to
yearning for the Jason Day, Lee Mayberry days with this season.
Jason Day is a golfer.
Yeah, I know. He made a nice comeback. He had a tough Sunday, but he had a good Friday, Saturday.
Look, I don't see this as optimism or hope or rejoicing. I just don't. And that's true for the Wisconsin Athletic Department too. I'm very curious to see where things go from here, but I'm not looking at this as ding dong. The athletic director has bailed.
Would we be in a better spot if Giannis signs the Supermax and he has 4 more seasons like this?
No,
like as a fan,
you're right.
Because then you're going to watch Giannis. Like, what brings all the girls to the yard? Giannis
Milkshake.
playing and being 30 and 52, or a bunch of young people and it's 15 and 60 or whatever that record would be. What would you rather see?
If those are my choices, I think seeing a generational talent brings more people to the Fiserv Forum stands than a bunch of young guys that may not be very good, and you're just hoping they develop.
Yeah, I'm going to vote the other way. I don't want to see another year like this with Giannis. I don't.
I mean,
nobody does.
Nobody was
I
going.
just asked the question.
Nobody was going to Washington Wizards games for the last 3 years when they've been terrible with a bunch of young players that they haven't gotten right. So
what do I care about the Washington Wizards?
Because that's the comparison. If you're saying
who is their star?
That's my point. If you get
what is your point?
If you get rid of Giannis and you have a bunch of young players that you're trying to find what you have to build around with a new coach next year, you become what the Washington Wizards have been for the last couple of years, which is the doormat of the Eastern Conference with none of your local fans going to spend money at the games.
We're the doormat of the Eastern Conference with Giannis and Doc and Miles Turner. The hell are you talking about?
At least you have Giannis.
That was my question. Thank you for. I still don't know if you've answered it. You somehow went on a Gilbert Arenas Washington Wizards take, which I don't know where that.
You know,
came
I
from.
even thought of saying the name Gilbert Arenas, and then I didn't. But it's crazy
nice
that
pod.
you think that we were telepathically connected
he does a
there.
Good pod.
That
He's
you
got an
thought I
interesting
was
pod.
thinking about Gilbert Arenas without saying
Well, I was
Gilbert
trying
Arenas.
to think of who was the last star player that the Wizards have had, and it was Gilbert Arenas. That's the last one.
Bradley Beal.
John
was
Wall.
he there for a while?
I guess John Wall.
Sure. The doormat of the Eastern Conference was in fact the Washington Wizards at 17 and 65.
And we lost like 5 times to them.
3 of their 17 wins against us.
The Indiana Pacers, after losing their star in the playoffs last year, 19 and 63. The Nets and Bulls also with worse records than the Bucks. We will wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All day, every day, the Cardless talk and text line is open for you.
We're not trying to get from A to B. We're trying to get from A to SB, as in the Super Bowl.
800-990-3776. The Cardless talk and text line. This is more.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night Show for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
On this show, it's always football season.
I'm not overly concerned because it seems as if Green Bay's not overly concerned.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Everybody over there feels like this team was there. We got short-circuited with injuries. We have the right staff, we have the right people, and we have the right players. We just need to stay healthy, and we'll be champions.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Rich Eisen.
I would like to welcome the Pittsburgh Pirates into the world of roster building to try and win baseball games. Congratulations to 19-year-old Connor Griffin, who is a beast, shortstop, a clear cornerstone of any baseball franchise. Normally, if you get a cornerstone of a baseball franchise in Pittsburgh, Yankee fans are like, can't wait. And we were that way about Skeens the last couple of years. He signed a 9-year extension that runs through the 2034 season. And basically what the Pirates did was buy out 3 years of free agency for this kid. And so what this means is the Pirates, it is the largest guarantee in Pirates history for any player in his rookie season. Congratulations, Pirates fans. This is what it looks like to have your team take money and spend it on a player who's very, very, very good and who could be potentially generationally great and keep him in Pittsburgh. And that's the way it's done.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm not against shopping online. In fact, you can check out our huge selection at BurkhartSportingGoods.com. But when you're ready to buy, Burkhart should be your only stop. Because here, you can grab hold of the Midwest's largest selection of baseball bats, gloves, and equipment, and take all the swings you need in our indoor batting cages to make sure you buy the right bat. And when you buy your new mitt, we'll steam and custom fit it for you right on the spot. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhart. If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service, you can't beat Burkhart.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Well, it was quite a day. Jesse, you still tabulating how many views your little video got with the bad
closing
audio?
in on 200,000, so we're getting there. It's a fifth of the way there.
Just wait, the video you posted of Chuck on your baby phone has gotten 200,000 views?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
He's viral.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
But it's good. Well done.
Can those people
what are you
hear
watching
it?
What are you going to watch this afternoon and put up?
I did get a response that somebody was listening to it in their car and they had to turn the volume all the way up, and then the next video blared and almost gave them a heart attack.
Yeah, I can see how that might be a problem.
Sorry about that.